Doodle-doodle-doodle-doodle-doodle-doodle. Whoop whoop. Let's get into it. I saw somebody, they're like, you guys have to do like a duet intro because of your doodle-doodle-doos. You are the first one to do that type of thing. Somebody was like, you guys got to do it together. But, ladies and gentlemen, Sabby is here. Sabby Sabs. I've been watching you for a long time. Been seeing your content for a very long time. Wanted to reach out for a little while. Never really did. Had audience members always bring up Sabby and say, why don't you bring Sabby on? Why don't you guys? I saw one person who like, why don't you guys have a debate? This was like maybe 2 years ago. They're like, you guys should have a debate. And now in 2026, there is not much to debate anymore. I don't know how much we differ on anymore. Before I was like hardcore conservative. I guess I still am a conservative, but but I'm not blind. So, so I don't know what we can debate anymore. I'm just gonna be like, yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. I'm just gonna lose that debate. But welcome, Sabby.
Welcome. Thank you. Thank you so much for having me on, Colin.
No problem. Let's just get into it. Like I said, guys, any questions you have, let me know. We have the first one here. I like this one. As she is a left winger, I want to know what's her position on Khanna, Cenk, and Anna from the Young Turks. Do be my will. Only wanted to sate my curiosity. Thanks for the work you've done on preparing the show. So what do you think about that?
That's a good question. I think that Khanna, he has changed in some ways. I will say this. He is the only Congress member that I know that is willing to go into spaces where there may be disagreement. He's not afraid to talk to anyone. And he's also not particular about how many subscribers you have. When Khanna came on my show, that was back when I had 4,000 subs. So
Wow.
he's one of those oh yeah, he's willing to go into all different spaces. He's not picky about like number count or anything like that. But I will say, many of us were very aggressive towards Khanna because we felt like there was more that should have been done. And he was willing to listen to that. And I feel like he has kind of taken some of those things to heart and it's led to action. Like, for example, him choosing to work together with Marjorie Taylor Greene and Thomas Massie for the Epstein files. I feel like had it been 2016 or actually 2018, 2020, I feel like that push may not have been there, right? So I feel like he was willing to listen to what we had to say that like, listen, like you're going to have to like, it's not left, right, it's top versus bottom. And I noticed like he came on to like my comrades RBN, he came on to the show and Nick debated him. And Nick did ask him, he said, why did the Democrats lose in 2024? And Khanna nailed it. And he said, like, we didn't really do for the working class. We weren't there for the people. And then also, of course, the Israel-Gaza issue. He nailed it about what the Democratic Party did wrong. But then after that conversation, I felt like that it kind of like activated him and made him say, okay, look, we got to call some things out here. So I feel like he's one of the ones that's been more vocal. He's willing to work with different people that disagree with him to get things done. So he's one I would say to watch. I would not be surprised if he doesn't run for president in 2028 or possibly a little bit later at some point. Now, I do think there's still some things that he does need to work on. Like he has to make up his mind, like he's against, the billionaires and what they're doing. But then you go and endorse Tom Steyer, who's a billionaire, who also, by the way, made a lot of money from private prisons, which many people don't discuss. So I think he has to make up his mind there with that. I would also say I think he needs to take a step further and leave the Democratic Party. I think Khanna needs to be an independent. I think people like Marjorie Taylor Greene's gone, but people like Khanna, Thomas Massie, people who are anti-war, anti-imperialist, and for the working class and focusing on this top versus bottom, I really feel like those people need to be a part of a separate party or they need to be independent politicians. So I would say that. Cenk and Anna, I did talk to Cenk after Kamala lost. And this was after they announced that, look, we're going to have to try to work with people on the other side. And they got a lot of heat from that. People are still very angry with TYT because they decided to take that position. And whatever the reason is that you believe it may be for, I will say, after they made that announcement and they said that Marjorie Taylor Greene signed on to work with this, group that we have, I did start to see some of that change take place. Like I did start to see this type of coalition starting to form. And so I think that for those of us that did vote for like Bernie Sanders, and we saw the potential that was there at that point in time, both times, there's a lot of frustration. There's a lot of anger there. And I'm angry at the gatekeeping. I'm frustrated at the voices that are silenced. And I think a lot of people have just lost this focus because Trump is absolutely horrible and has been such a disaster. I feel like people are trying to keep us in these camps and they don't want us to come together over these issues that actually impact everybody else. So I think that they're heading in a different direction. Are there more things that can be done? Absolutely. But I think that they're actually heading in the right path because they're starting to focus on top, bottom, not left, right.
Yeah. That is a thing that a lot of people have been shouting for a long time. The notorious thing that people say is two wings of the same bird. They keep saying that. I've heard that a long time. People keep saying that, two wings of the same bird kind of thing. And we're seeing it very live. This, I guess you've always felt this way about Trump, right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
For me, I knew a little bit more about Donald Trump's history before he ran for president, some of his business dealings, people that he worked with, his connections that he had to people like Roy Cohen, who is, infamous for getting mobsters off and things like that. So I knew that Donald Trump was corrupt. And that was my big thing. Like when he ran in 2016, when people were focusing on all these other things, a lot of people were focusing on the rhetoric that was coming out of his mouth. And they're saying that he's demonizing people. Well, yeah, he was. But I feel like the big picture that was missing was the corruption, that Donald Trump was corrupt. And that's how he became a billionaire. That's how he got his wealth. Some of it he inherited from his father, but there were corrupt dealings there that took place, right? So I just feel like people aren't looking at the bigger picture. Everybody's pointing fingers at individuals and they're saying this person is horrible or this person is bad, but they're not saying why it exists and why these things are happening. And it's because our government is inherently corrupt. And I will say most of the Congress members that are there, they're bought and paid for, they're corrupt. They're there to serve their donors, right? Whether they're getting money from Lockheed Martin, or whether it's, Blue Cross Blue Shield, the Congress that we have today, they basically operate for the donor class. And I think that's what a lot of people have to connect.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, there's always a shining example of that when people talk about it, because it's like hard to see, like if you just look at all of them. But I mean, Lindsay Graham is like the most shining example of that. Lindsay Graham takes money from anyone, anyone who makes missiles, who makes bombs, who wants to see limbs fly in certain places. He's just like, how much? And what do you want me to say? Like, let's go. It's worth 9 figures. I don't know if that's a rumor, but I keep seeing 150 million to like in the range of almost 200 million that he's worth. Like, just crazy numbers.
Yeah, he's very much captured. I lived in South Carolina for a little bit of time, and I never understood how he continues to win. It's just, it's so much corruption. He has a lot of money that comes his way. And oftentimes the candidate that has the most money is the one that wins, oftentimes. And so it's not as though he hasn't been challenged. Lindsey Graham has had challengers, but it's just when you have the money, you can put out more ads and you can convince more people. So that's a big part of it.
That's a big part of it. And also, I mean, and talking about being angry, you're saying being angry. A lot of people, hardcore conservatives, especially the commentary group of people, got really mad when Trump endorsed Lindsey Graham again. recently, and they're like, what's happening? Why do you keep, what does this guy have on you that you keep on doing this every single time? He's not good. But I think in what the president thinks is that he's like a loyalist. You know, he'll just do whatever is told of him. So like that's a good cog to have in your machine, is one that will just do your bidding kind of thing. So yeah, sucks.
Yeah, I think so. It's you know, this is one of the issues that Marjorie Taylor Greene ran into, right? That obviously Donald Trump was not going to endorse her this time around. And
Yeah.
so it's like you basically have to bow to Trump to get that endorsement, or they will find a way to invent a challenger if they need to get you out of there so that you lose your seat.
Yeah, they'll just tap what's her name? Adelson. Adelson will just pump out a contender for you right away.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Big donator in the ballroom, big donator just all around, this lady. President's like, I don't know if she loves Israel more, if she loves America more. She won't say America, so I think it might be the other one. It's like, are you crazy? What's happening right now?
That's a big part of the problem. The fact that this woman has so much control over electoral politics in this country. That is absolutely insane. We, the people, I mean, there's more of us than there are of the Miriam Adelsons, right? But we're not activated yet. I think we're on our way there, but we're not there just yet. And I think that something else is going to happen, Colin. I don't know whether it's going to be another pandemic or another false flag in the United States, but something else is going to happen. And I think it's going to make us closer towards rock bottom. You know, the economy is tough right now, but we're still not at rock bottom just yet. And I think that when that day comes, I think that's when the people are really going to be activated and say, okay, look, we've voted for Republicans, we voted for Democrats. I mean, since 2016, no president has had 2 consecutive terms. So we've just been going back and forth from different party. And I think it's going to take that rock bottom for people to really get activated and say, oh my God, I figured it out. It's not left versus right. It's top bottom. And all these rich people have been fooling us and tricking us to be against each other. Meanwhile, we're struggling right now economically, and they have bunkers they can go to.
Yeah, they keep on building bunkers. Hey, Mark Zuckerberg is actually the craziest one, because he did his in Hawaii. He's like, not just all the way over there, deep into the ground. I don't care about all these indigenous types that are protesting me. I'm going deep into the ground, and this is where I'm at. It's like really wild, his bunker. Yeah, but I think they all have bunkers going on. And then they're collectively trying to get this one under the White House kind of thing, data center / bunker. But I do see this this forming with you, what you're talking about right now, because I actually played the clip from that documentary. I've covered it before, but that documentary that's about the data center, that family that's like 500 yards from the data center, and what it actually does to their water supply, which is not unique to that one family. That's going to happen as these data centers pop up. It's going to happen more and more and more. And they seem like they want like in the neighborhood of 200, because there's actually a map that you can find which ones are activated and which ones are like 2B. So it looks like they want like 200 giant data centers throughout America. And then they start tapping into Canada where they can. There's a lot of room in Canada to do that. Greenland as well. That's part of the reason, I think, why they want Greenland so bad. But you're starting to see this whole thing, because I saw that you commented on that when you posted it. You're like, it's the elite, or I think it was the protest that you were showing, the Utah protest. You're saying it's the elite versus like everybody else. Like that's what it actually is. And then I saw in the video, I believe it's called Trump Has Gutted Freedom of Speech, where you're talking at the end about, you know, people coming together. And I think you're talking about the left and right coming together. And it's very interesting that you're kind of touching on this, because Candace Owens has actually been mentioning this. She actually wrote it, I don't know, probably a week ago. She was talking about the left and the right need to come together and unite against what's happening. Now, obviously, Candace always veers it towards Zionism. You're zeroing it towards the elite class. But what do you actually think is going to happen? You're saying, in that video, you're saying you think people are going to mobilize like never before. Do you think the left and the right are just going to come together, third party type of thing? Like, what do you think is actually going to happen?
I hope the left and right can come together, whether it's for a third party or even just getting behind people that are independents. I think we need more people to run for as independents for Congress. I really do. There was one guy in Nebraska. I'm not sure if you heard of him, Osborne. He ran last time and he ran as an independent and he almost won.
Wow.
I mean, it's just, and the reason why his numbers were so great is because he activated the workers. So he was one of them, and they know him from the unions. And he said, listen, we got to make some changes around here. Things got to change. So he got very, very close to winning that race. But I think we need to activate in that type of way. But then also, I mean, when we talk about the elites, poor people are, and no one take this the wrong way, poor people will be disposable.
Oh, yeah.
The plan that they have coming for this country, the poor will be the first to go. So those who are below that poverty line, they do not care if those people live or die. That's why they're not improving the conditions in those neighborhoods that are causing like these increased risk of asthma and all those types of things. They're not planning on fixing those conditions. They see them as disposable. So I think they will be the first to go. I think that rise is going to come when it starts to hit those that are, I would say, working poor / we don't really have a middle class, but you know what I mean? Like those of us that are in that bracket, right? So I think that's when it's really going to be a problem. Also, when it starts to impact some of those that are professionals, like they have a professional job, but they're not rich, the teachers, right? Like that's a good example. Even some of like the nurses, like, you know, so I think that's when it's really going to shake things up, because they will no longer be able to say that you should have gone to college, got a degree, so that way you can get a decent paying job. Eventually, it's going to get to the point where that's not going to matter. We can already see this with the rise of AI, which is consuming some jobs already. So by the time people graduate from college, we don't really know what's going to be available anymore to them, right? So it's going to get to a point where, and Bill Gates actually admitted this, where there won't be jobs for everyone because of AI, right? And so we have people like Bill Gates, who has also been stealing water. I don't know if everybody knows that. He's been siphoning water from towns. We have people like Kevin O'Leary building that massive data center in Utah. Yes, those people are going to be impacted because the data center, they do draw a lot of energy. It requires a lot of water for those data centers. And it's going to get to the point where the choice is going to be, we need water for the data centers, but the people in this town also need water. No, let's give it to the data centers. I would not be surprised if we don't have a war over water in this country at some point in time. And the big thing I'm trying to make people aware of is that all of this can be prevented. Our government chooses to use the budget and the funds for war. If you look at the budget, that defense budget has continued to increase over time. We're over 860, I think trillion at this point, billion or trillion for defense. That's where most of the money goes. So when you see some of these other countries like Norway and Finland, which Finland apparently has the happiest people in the world, when you see some of these other countries and you wonder, like, how is it that they were able to give everybody healthcare? And yeah, of course, you know, there's taxes, you know, a part of this as well. How is it they were able to give housing for everybody? How were they able to do that? Because they made a decision. They chose to prioritize their people. They invested in the people, not investing in war. So this is where we're at right now. And the myth that people have been told by the government and, of course, corporate media, that we just don't have the money. I think more people are waking up to the fact that, I think we kind of do have the money, because we're giving all this money to Israel. And we have all this money for war. So it's just the US is becoming a dying empire. And it's only a matter of time. You know, empires rise and then they eventually fall. So Everyone just needs to get ready, is what I would say.
Yeah. Going back to what you said about Bill Gates, I think he called it. I think it's like a known term. It's called the useless class. That's what they're being classified slowly as. People who, and that could be us too. Who knows? Like some guy just figures out something for there's already Instagram influencers that are straight up AI. There's already all sorts of weird things like that, right? So who knows who's actually safe? And Sam Altman also said he was like, people are creative, they'll figure it out. And it's like, hey man, hey, aren't you doing it? Shouldn't you figure it out? Hold on a second. You're gonna wait for the billions of people to figure it out? Because they might figure it out, but people notoriously, if they get into a mob of billions of people, they're gonna figure something out. And it's not gonna be like, I'll just figure this thing out. They're gonna figure out, they're gonna start looking for those bunkers. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah.
It's gonna be that thing, if you just do it to billions of people out of nowhere. That's why, it's very odd. The whole thing's very odd, especially the AI takeover, because another thing that you said, you're not looking into the conditions of like asthma and like the people, but they are looking into the conditions of robots. They're figuring out how to roll that out smoothly. They are constantly figuring out how to have these robots do backflips, to run very fast. The dog types have ammunition on top of them now. Like they're figuring out how to make them so they can't fall over. It all seems like it's heading up to, I don't want to get too dystopian, but it's looking very bleak towards people. All it takes is Elon Musk's robots to have Grok put inside their heads, and there you go. You have a hive mind of workers. You have a hive mind of officers, soldiers, whatever you need, really. And I know that sounds so weird because I've been talking about this for, I don't know, 3 years on this channel. Been talking about stuff like that. And when I first started talking about it, it sounded absolutely ridiculous. I have a term here. Whenever people think I'm getting ridiculous, I talk about having a tinfoil Speedo on. But more and more, it's not seeming ridiculous. More and more. Like Elon Musk has it projected for 2028 to have it so these robots are running around. That's not far away.
Yeah, and that's a presidential election year. How convenient.
Yeah. Yeah. And it might be like the last one. There's all these predictions of the last president. I don't know if you've heard anything about that, but they talk about the last president. And then also they're building a bunker in the White House. So it's like it's all coming together very very smoothly. And this bunker is being paid for by Google and Microsoft and the Adelsons and Ludnick, and like it's just man, it's looking wild. The digital gulag is what people are referring to it as, because it'll be a bunker but also a data center, and Palantir comes into that whole play. It's weird. The whole thing's weird.
I know sometimes I look back and I wonder, I was seeing these videos recently where they're comparing like the 1980s and the 1990s to today. And, sometimes I think back to like the 90s and I look back at how good we actually had it, meaning that we didn't have as much technology, right? So it's like, I felt like people were willing to talk to their neighbors more. I feel like we were more connected physically and in a different way. So it's like we're able to connect with people in different ways now because of the internet and social media. But back then, like growing up in the 90s, I felt like we had a truer connection because all these things were kind of done in person. You knew people a little bit better. We were just more together, I felt like, during that time. But now with like all this technology, I mean, you mentioned the AI videos on YouTube. I mean, I can't tell you how many times, especially with the foreign policy videos, there's a number of channels where there's a person sitting there talking, but it's AI.
Yeah.
And so it's just, we could be replaced. Me and Colin could be replaced too. We don't know that political YouTube, all of us could be replaced with these AI videos. We never know what's going to happen. So I always want people to keep in mind with that. And then also some of these other professions like nursing, teaching. Bill Gates said, in 10 years, we're not going to need doctors, nurses, or teachers. Okay, so what are those people supposed to do for work?
Yeah. Yeah. What? Like again, Sam Altman. He's like, I think people will figure it out. Someone gave him this exact question. He's like, people are really creative. He's like, I just feel like they're gonna figure it out. It was a crazy answer. It's crazy how much of these especially the tech billionaires say these absolutely crazy things, and people just go, yeah, yeah. You know, it's very weird. The crazy things they say. Back when Elon Musk was like, oh, the robots, they're going to move so fast, you're going to need a strobe light to keep track of them. We're summoning the demon. And then he's like, I'm making robots, guys. I'm making a whole fleet of robots. Hold on a second.
Yeah.
Didn't you just say? I thought you just said it was evil and it's the demon. I don't know.
And Elon Musk also said that we're going to need a universal basic income. So here's what I predict what will happen. If we get to that point and they have to give everybody a UBI, it's going to be a limited amount. Like it's not going to be like, we're giving you $15,000 a month. It's not going to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's going to be crumbs. And then you're going to have to be forced to live off of that.
Yeah.
And while people like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos and Larry Fink of evil BlackRock get to sit up in their high towers and look down upon us.
Yes.
They're going to give us a UBI that's basically going to keep you where you are. So you'll never be able to own. And this gets to the point about not owning anything. You won't be able to own anything because you're not going to make the money to own anything.
Yeah. Good point. Good point. Yeah. Going back to that whole thing of like, own nothing and be happy. You know, today it seems like, especially when it came out, because this is years ago when that statement was first made, that seemed like just ridiculous. It seemed like so dystopian. But as you just put all that together, that makes sense. It's like, yeah, it's gonna be a little amount to keep you in a certain class, kind of like what they have going on in India. They've had that going on in India for quite some time, really long time.
That's right. This caste system, and I think that, you know, we are starting to see a more multipolar world where other countries are aligning with each other. And they're saying, you know, we don't want to be up under the thumb of the United States. Let's work together and form a multipolar world. The US is eventually going to be on an island by itself. We are going to be isolated because of the policy decisions that our government makes when it comes to foreign policy, because of this undying loyalty to Israel, who's killing all these people, killing children and women. And the US government's goal is to basically have Israel be the center of power, right? So eventually they know the US empire is dying. They're not trying to fix it. They're not trying to rebuild these bridges or our infrastructure or anything like that. Forget high-speed rail. They're not interested in that. They don't want any of those things coming. They are focused on building up Israel. All the central power will be located there. Israel will, if nothing changes, Israel will expand, which is what they want to do with this Greater Israel project. And all the tech and all the finance, everything is going to be centered there. We, at that point in time, will be screwed because we're not working with these other countries to be a part of the multipolar world, whether it's Russia, China, etc., like Iran, whatever. We chose not to be a part of that. So what's going to eventually end up happening in my mind is that the US is going to become an isolated entity, and we will eventually just fall and crumble.
Yeah. I think it's definitely the decisions, but it's also like a siphoning that's happening. You know, it's not like these guys are waking up and they're like, this is what I want to happen to this country. It's like this slow breadcrumb of like, hey, you take a few million, I'll take a few million. Everything's really good. These guys are paying us real good. We just have to say that we support them. We can do it on the left, we do it on the right. We're all a part of this thing. And slowly it's sucking it dry. Because in the reality, it has nothing to do with the people. The people are like, fix my roads and make it so things aren't so pricey and like fix my life. That's what the people are really focused on. It's also commentators. A lot of these conservative commentators are pushing it as well. But it's the government that's really siphoning off. Yeah, I say that because you talked about Bill Gates siphoning water. It's kind of the same type of thing. They're siphoning off everything that America is. They're the congressmen, the senators. They're just they're throwing it around to one place in particular, but they are throwing it around to every single place except for America. which is I don't know how much longer it'll last. And also too, what you were saying about the multi-pole working with other countries, it also seems like some of those countries actively don't want to work with America as well. There's that part too, where they're like, well, maybe, China, Russia, India, like they're all looking at it like, why would we work with them? We know what's going to happen if we work with them. We want to get on top of this whole thing, right? All these the fastest growing economies in the world right now are all located in Africa, right? Like a lot of people aren't thinking about that. That's happening right now. Like I think the top 10 fastest growing economies are all in Africa. And those countries that I just mentioned, Russia, China, India, they're making sure to grab on to Africa as much as possible, as quick as possible. So they're kind of almost not worrying about what America's going through. And then where Canada and America could come together, they could come together at some point. It's just not happening. And I feel like all that's by design in a way. It's very weird that these two neighboring places would just butt heads so much to the point where they're just like drifting apart, but they're like together. It's the weirdest thing to me. Like that should be the greatest ally. Canada clearly should be the greatest ally. Like why would it be any other place anywhere? But I don't know.
Well, this is one of the things that it's an older video of Joe Biden. I believe he was on the Senate floor at that time. And he said that if there wasn't an Israel, we would have created one. Right. So this points to what, Joe Biden said that. It points to what Colonel Larry Wilkerson said, which is that the U.S. wants Israel to be there because basically you have all the other Arab nations in the Middle East and there's resources there. Right. So whether it's oil, gas, etc., you name it, by keeping Israel there, that helps the U.S. with those resources. So that was the whole idea that, well, Israel needs to be there because of the resources in the region and And people need to understand this too. Like we're running out of these things. These resources don't last forever. And so now you're seeing people start to grab here and there. And I need the oil. You got the oil. I need it. Similar thing with Venezuela, as I mentioned as well. Like they have, trillions of barrels of oil. So a lot of it goes back to oil and it's crazy. Like how much, but that leads to another question. Like we are very much dependent on oil and not just for gas, for plastics, for products, for fertilizer, for our food. That's why the farmers are struggling right now, right? Because the oil prices have increased and they need that fertilizer for the food. So what's going to happen is we're going to have to move to alternative sources. We're going to have to learn how to, because we don't know what's going to come at some point, but we have to be prepared for that, right? Like we may not always have oil.
Yeah. I mean, if you project into like 50, 60, 70 years, that's where that whole thing starts to really look like a reality, especially when you talk about like wars for water. Like my first data center video that I did a little while ago, probably like 2 years ago, something like that. I was playing around with ChatGPT, ironically, asking ChatGPT how long it would be before water becomes scarce, like throughout North America, if the data centers keep popping up the way that they are and they're taking up as much as they need. And it projected like 50 years. They're like, it could take 50 years and that would happen, But just so you know, Kevin O'Leary said that a percentage of his data center is going to work off solar and battery and all sorts of good things. So, just putting it out there. He has a plan, just so you know.
It's interesting because like Kevin O'Leary is he's from Canada, right? Like, why isn't he trying to build a data center in Canada? Why is he building a data center here?
The eerie thing about it is, as he's telling his whole piece about this, not looking at the camera, by the way, just like looking away and talking about this whole thing and kind of like talking about it like, he's like one step away from being like, these libtards are just bussing in and protesting. Like, this is fine. He's like one step away from saying that in this video. But then he goes, and we have 10,000 acres in Alberta that we're going to try and do this with as well. And I was like, whoa. I did not know that. He said, we have 10,000 acres that they want to start doing the same type of thing. I was blown away by that. He said it like it was just a great thing. But, It's just, it's obviously where the money is right now, right? If you look at the world, if you're a billionaire, the money is in data centers. That's why they're all trying to build them. Like Meta builds them for themselves, but then also for other purposes as well. Same with every major, huge tech company. They're building them, and it's not just for themselves. It's a big money grab right now. And I don't know if you know about this. I wanted to switch topics, but just to get into this, there's an executive order. I'll just say what the executive order is. I'm like missing it right now in my mind, but it's about AI, and they're taking away state to state decision making when it comes to AI. Okay, so they're taking that away and they're making it so it's federal. So the federal government decides. Okay, but couple this with, I keep saying I have to make a series about this because a lot of people don't know about it. Couple this with the panel of science and technology. So there's a panel that's been formed very quietly. It's made up of 13 people. Larry Ellison is one of them. Mark Zuckerberg is one of them. The CEO of NVIDIA is one of them. All these people who have pledged hundreds of billions, even into the trillions of dollars to this administration. They're all on this panel. And this panel is going to give recommendations on what should be done in regards to AI. So basically what we have here between this executive order and this panel is these tech guys will be able to make decisions on what happens with AI. And basically all the red tape, all the state to state level red tape that could pop up will be completely moved out of the way. Now, when I first heard this executive order, I was like, it's just a race for AI. Okay. But now it makes sense. All the red tape is being cleared away so they can just build data centers. Then you couple this with the fact that Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos, and I just made this connection when I was doing my second data center video. Bill Gates, Jeff Bezos, accumulatively have about 500,000 acres of farmland. And everybody was like, what are they doing with this farmland? Everybody thought they were going to make like GMO farm. That's what they were going to do. But it makes sense now. They're probably going to make data centers. Probably. They own this farmland. It's already been owned. It's been, 5 years they've owned this farmland. Now it starts to make sense. So there's a whole bunch of land where they could start making data centers. And it's owned by Jeff Bezos and Bill Gates.
So what this tells us is that, once again, we see who's making the decisions.
Yeah.
Right. So it's a handful of people. And that's the thing. Like, yes, they have immense power because they have a lot of money and resources, but there's more of us than there are of them. And the problem is, though, they have to make sure that we stay divided so that we don't come to that conclusion.
Yes.
Because once people start to, this is one of the things I will say that was positive about Occupy Wall Street, was that was the message, which is that it's the 99%. And I think that once more people start to realize, wait a minute, maybe this is not about Democrats or Republicans. Maybe this is about, these rich people trying to have control over us while they take all the resources and we're left with the scraps. Once more people start to realize that, I think that's when people will get activated, and that's when you get that change. But like, they have to prevent that, right? So how do they prevent that? It's things like getting AOC to say, well, we should not work alongside Marjorie Taylor Greene because she's anti-Semitic or whatever. It's stuff like that, which has been backfiring on her, by the way. But it's stuff like that, right? Then you have Ilhan Omar saying the exact opposite, saying people who have made this change, we should welcome them, right? So the people who are saying we need to come together on a class consciousness and we need to work together on that, those are going to be the people that are going to be heavily attacked. And I just saw some of it the other day on social media, all the people jumping in and attacking other leftists who were saying, well, wait a minute. So Marjorie Taylor Greene is not in Congress anymore. 1, 2, she has changed. She's worked with Khanna. We're not saying you got to trust her. We're not saying if she runs for office, you even got to vote for her. What we're saying is we got to learn to work together here so that we're not crushed by the people at the very top. The way I saw the typical shills and stooges just jump in immediately to say, I can't believe people are calling out AOC. I can't believe leftists are saying Marjorie Taylor Greene is doing something right. That is what is going to stop us from coming together. So they have done this historically over the years via social issues. Because if you take the social issues away and you look at these two political parties, you'll see they're more alike because they both take, corporate donations. They both support the military industrial complex and these wars. They're both owned by billionaires and Israel, etc. So they have to have the social issues there so that we continue to fight each other. And all I'm saying is that we've been doing that for years. And how has that worked out?
Yeah. That's the real question. And it's very hard. I guess it gets very hard to see, especially when you're going back to what you said about the way that things used to be in the 90s. You were forced to actually communicate face to face with somebody and actually hear what they had to say. Now, when you're in social media, you get in your neighborhood, you would get a blaring one voice, two voice, maybe three if you were really moving around that day. And you actually were talking about these things. But now you get a blaring 10,000 voices. So it gets really hard. I mean, Candace Owens was the first one to bring it up, and I never forgot it. She was like, every election cycle, she said this way back. I think this is even before Daily Wire. Might have been like PragerU. She's like, every election cycle. No, it was Daily Wire, early Daily Wire days. She was like, every election cycle, you will see them pit white people against black people. She's like, watch for it. She's like, every time you will see all these videos start popping up, and it will be to put these two people in their boxes. You are this color. It is time for you to vote Democrat. You know what you're supposed to do. These people are all racist, and you know what these people are doing. They're wild. They're crazy. They're criminals. It's time for you to vote Republican. And I never forgot that. Every time you see midterms coming up, every time you see the election coming up, you will see a big push like that. And it's not just black and white. It becomes left and right. It becomes cisgendered and, whatever else you are. It becomes all of these boxes that they put people into, because it becomes very easy to control people if you have them in a bunch of boxes. Like, I mean, just think about like if you had 4 million chickens and you could put them all into 1,000 different boxes. It's like, okay, now we got these chickens good. We got them in their boxes. We'll open the door. When we say open the door, they'll go exactly where we want them to go. And we'll just do that on repeat until we have them all siphoned where we need them to be,
Yeah. And it's like, you mentioned it's easier to control people when you do that. But even some of these loud voices, like even online, like they're not following their own message. Like you can't tell me that all of these people that say you should not talk to anybody who supported Trump, even if they changed their views, you can't tell me all of these people that everyone in their family supported Kamala Harris or is a Democrat. You can't tell me that. Everybody in most people in my family are not politically involved at all. They're not interested in any of this. They think the whole thing is just, the whole system is already fixed, right? Mm-hmm. So they don't feel like voting actually is going to change anything, most of them. But you can't tell me that these people have never worked with people who are of a different political party, don't have people in their family that might be from a different political party. Oh, and by the way, have they cut those people off? Exactly. You can't tell me they don't have neighbors. See, that's the difference between what's online and what's happening in person. People can say these things online. They can say it on even their YouTube shows, but you're not with them throughout their day and day. You don't know who they're talking to when they're off camera. You don't know who they're hanging out with. So some people have an agenda, and it's very clear to me that some people's agenda was to get Trump in. Some people's agenda was to get Kamala Harris in. And then there are those that their agenda is to make you stick and stand for their political party at all costs. The most disgusting thing to me was when people like Roland Martin came after me because I didn't want to vote for a genocidal party, because they had started a genocide. And I said, I'm not going to support that. They came after me instead of saying this to Kamala Harris's face. When she was right in front of him, he didn't bring it up at all. So instead of saying to her, Why aren't you willing to give into these two demands from the pro-Palestinian protesters, which is a ceasefire and an arms embargo to Israel? Instead of putting the blame on the candidate, they pointed their fingers at those of us that said we are not going to support this. So once you start to follow the money and you start to see that a lot of these people are either paid by the Democratic Party via other organizations that are connected to the Democratic Party, that's usually how they do it. They want the access to the politicians. They want to be able to interview a Kamala, or they want to be able to interview a Trump. On the Republican side of political YouTube, it's more transparent with that, right? Like the Daily Wire doesn't hide the fact that, yeah, look, these people are giving us money. They're more upfront about it. What is disappointing is that when it comes to the Democrat side, some of these commentators are pretending as though they're not getting a check, and they are. And that's what people need to know. So that was kind of outed a little bit with the Chorus organization, and people saw that David Pakman and them and getting what I had been telling people for years, that they was getting some money. So when you start to look at all of that, it's just, I mean, come on. So I hope that more people will start to use common sense and stand for the issues instead of standing for a party. And I'm telling everybody right now, we're going into 2028. They're already getting ready to start trashing people if you don't support AOC for 2028. Same on the other side, but with JD Vance for the Republican Party, they're getting ready. They're going to come after you if you don't support JD Vance. And all I'm saying is maybe it's just time for people to break away from both of this. And maybe people need to get behind an independent candidate. It doesn't even have to be third party, but somebody who meets your interests and the issues that you actually care about. And that's what I'm asking people to do. So it's independents that determine these elections. They're the ones that can swing one way or the other. And you start to see how independents helped Biden, how independents helped Donald Trump, right? So I'm just asking people to just think for yourself for once and not vote for someone because corporate media told you to.
Yeah. When you talk about the pay, I've been talking about that for a while. And it's one of those things where it's like, you can't exactly just call somebody out, but it's like you can see the behavior in the people. You can see the huge switch. One of them that I always call out is like Officer Tatum, right? I can't say he's taking anything. I can't say it, but it's like I saw a hard switch. And everybody saw this really, really hard switch and just one track mind towards things. And, and also I point at, like, I say it all the time, when people talk in unison, like there's something there when they're all speaking the same thing at the same time, and you can see it in X. That's one of the benefits of social media. If we were all in this landscape of talking to individuals, we may not see it, but when it's social media and someone just clips like 10 people saying the same thing, the tweets all written the same, it's like, how could that be anything other than these guys are getting paid? They've been told this is what happens when you're taking money. It's like, here you go. These are your talking points. Please say this. This is how much money you get based on how many likes, how many, et cetera you get. So I'm definitely with you there. I want to get into just Candace Owens, Charlie Kirk, Erika Kirk, all of that stuff. Let's get into it. What do you think about that whole thing? What do you think about this investigation? What do you think about Candace? What do you think about Erika?
I'm going to say this. Every person that I have spoken to about the Charlie Kirk assassination, regardless of their political affiliation, none of them believe the FBI narrative. Yeah. Not one. It's so obvious, right? To those of us that just kind of, I don't know, like none of them believe it. So it's very clear what's happening here. I have a very difficult time believing that Tyler Robinson even did this. The pieces don't add up. It's just odd to me. I think Charlie Kirk was taken out. I think that if Charlie Kirk wouldn't have complained about the donors, the pro-Israel donors, I think that if Charlie Kirk wouldn't have gone to Donald Trump and said, no, please don't go to war with Iran. Like if he wouldn't have been as vocal about that on his show towards the end of his life, I think Charlie Kirk would still be alive today. I think if Charlie Kirk had stayed on that pro-Israel message, I think he would still be alive today.
Yeah.
I think Erika is a fraud. I think, I think the real Erika is the Erika that we saw in those older videos where she was auditioning for Amazing Race, where
Mm.
she was on another reality show. Like, I think that's the real Erika. I think that's what she wanted to do. I think she wanted to go into entertainment. I talked about this
Yep.
as well, that Andrew Covid also at one point was trying to get into acting. So I think that's really who Erika is. And I think this whole traditional wife bit, that is something that she became because of who she got married to. And I think that when she looked at Charlie Kirk, she saw someone that was going to be going places. Wow, this guy could possibly become president of the United States one day. I'd love to be a part of that. I'd love to be first lady. So it seems like she attached herself to people that she felt in some way, shape, or form they were going to do big things. Right. So if she couldn't get into the acting realm, she was going to take the other path. But it's really weird to me that after your husband dies, we see you more out in the public at all these different events. Then wouldn't you and shouldn't you want to be with your children? Like,
Yeah.
I would think the last thing you would want to do is to go to all these different events and make all these different appearances. If it had been, and here's the thing, if it had been me, people are like, well, what would you have done? First of all, if it had been me, I wouldn't have accepted the CEO position.
Yep.
I would never have it. Number one, I'm not qualified. So sorry, I'm not. Number one, I'm not qualified. But number two, why would you want to do that right after your husband was just killed? Like, why would you even want to? No. So I would have actually passed that on to someone else who had been there and worked there for a long time and was more qualified. And if nobody wanted to accept it and the organization just falls by the wayside, then so be it. But I wouldn't have accepted a CEO position at that point in time. That's me. And number two, I wouldn't have been doing all those interviews. Like, that was just kind of weird to me. I'm like, okay, there's this town hall with Barry Weiss.
Yeah.
Like, what is this all about? Then she gets out there and she says, I'm endorsing JD Vance for president and all of this stuff. And it just, I don't know, man. It was just, it felt like an act. So I think I think Erika is putting on a show. I think the real Erika wanted to become an actress, wanted to go into entertainment in some way, shape, or form. And I don't really think she wanted to be a traditional wife or whatever. I think that she used Charlie Kirk, and it happens. And with Candace, what's interesting? I would have never imagined that Candace would have, turned on Donald Trump. I would have never imagined that she would be calling out Turning Point USA. In a million years, if you told me this 4 years ago, I would have never believed it. I said, yeah, right.
Yeah.
Like, come on, that would not happen. But and Candace, I think, is having her own evolution here. And
Yep.
sometimes people can change. Now, some people do say, they said, well, the only reason she's doing this is because the Daily Wire got rid of her. But yeah, but she was calling out Israel when she was still on the Daily Wire.
Yep.
That's why they got rid of her.
Exactly.
So I think it's just, it is what it is. Sometimes people can change. I'm not saying that you have to 100%, trust this person or be in with this person. I will say that, I think with Candace, I think when it comes to history, I do think there's some things that I would like for her to go back and revisit, right? I do think that some of the stats and things that she lays out, in particular when it comes to Black American history, is incorrect. So I think that she should revisit those types of things, especially when we talk about displacement. I just published a documentary about displacement that's happening right here in Boston, right? So these things aren't just of the past. These things are still happening currently today. And again, that is because of the elites. They want it that way. They, like I said, the poor people will be the first to go, right? So I will say that. But I think that Candace, Tucker, Megyn Kelly, like, they made a decision that, you know what, we're going to call this out. It may cost us our show. It may cost us our audience, but we're going to do it anyway. And I
Yeah.
already saw people online telling Megyn Kelly, I'm done with you. I'm unsubscribing. And
Yeah.
I was just like, oh boy, here it comes. Here it comes. Right. So, um, yeah, I mean, you take a chance with that. And so for the people on the left who say you guys should not be applauding them for taking this stance or whatever, I say, well, I don't see you guys taking any stances that will cost you your viewership.
Yeah.
I don't see you guys like telling the whole truth about like what some of the Democrat politicians have done and who they are and who they're taking money from because you don't want to lose your viewership. So
Yeah.
until I see you do that,
So true. So true. Because as a creator, you know, people always will say, especially with Candace, and they're saying it with Megan and Tucker, that it's all for clicks. But when you build up a audience and then you take a turn, you don't automatically get more clips. It's not the intuitive thing that it's like, I'm going to get so many more clicks. The intuitive thing that you know as a creator is there's going to be so many people are going to be mad because they've been on this thing for one ride and all of a sudden I'm taking them on a different ride. People get pissed. They're going to be like, I don't like what you're doing. So to think it's all for clicks, it doesn't make any sense to me because I'm on the other side. I see analytics. I know how all that works. You get drop-offs. You get people getting really mad. You get attacks like crazy. I mean, I've had Candace Owens repost something that I've said and received crazy amount of attacks. Crazy. I'm like, oh, this is what she just goes through every day, like times 10. I'm like, this is nuts. Nuts. So I don't know. People think it's all for money and clicks. And it's like, that's not exactly what happens when you decide to do something like what Candace has done, turning against Trump, things of that nature. I mean, God only knows what would happen to her if she did what you're suggesting and she went back on those stats and went over it again and like changed a position. Oh, it would start all over again. You start getting attacked left and right for sure. So.
Right. If the Democrat podcasters had turned against Kamala Harris in 2024 after Kamala said she would always support Israel and she's still going to give them weapons. If they would have turned against her and said, no, guys, I'm sorry, you can't vote for her, they would have lost a lot of their viewers.
Yeah, a lot.
So that's what I'm saying. Like, until I see you guys like do that, I don't really want to hear it. Like, just get out of here.
Yeah, you put yourself on an island when you do that type of stuff. And that's exactly what you're seeing with Tucker. I'm seeing a lot of like TikToks from people who are like lifelong Democrat, like left leaning people. And they're like, why the hell do I like Tucker right now? Like, why am I liking this guy so much? Like, this is so weird. They don't know what's going on. They're like, why am I liking Megyn Kelly's stance on things? And like, why is Candace Owens so incredible? Well, yeah, it's hard because a lot of people will say that publicly, but then there's a huge side of the left that will be like, well, I'm not going to ever voice support of Tucker. I mean, it's Tucker. I can't do that. So you do really put yourself on this island. And it's not click ka-ching money island either. It's a cold eye. You don't know what's going to happen. You know, they've been lucky enough that, you know, it's been working for them, but it doesn't happen for everybody. It doesn't happen for everybody. Definitely.
No, it doesn't. And I think if people were on the other side, like you are, Colin, if they were on the analytics side, they could see that.
Yeah. They see the drop-offs. It's wild. Somebody has a question for you. I know you have to go. Question for Sabi, then Coach. What do you think about experts saying on various podcasts that there is a famine coming? What are your thoughts on this? Interesting.
Yeah, that's probably in reference to the fertilizer shortage. So this whole issue with the Strait of Hormuz right now, oil is increasing obviously a lot by barrel. Now it'll drop down when Trump says, we have a deal, we reached an agreement. And he's just been manipulating the market. But the moment that Iran says, no, you know, we reject this proposal, it shoots right back up. So there was a report that was released that said 70% of farmers, unfortunately, are struggling right now in the United States. So that could be what they're referring to, because a lot of these farmers, they rely on that fertilizer in order to grow the food. Now, I've been told that you can still grow food without fertilizer, but I would imagine it's probably not rapid growth, right? I would imagine it probably takes longer. It would be great to talk to farmers about this, to get some farmers on to get their perspective as well. But that's probably what they're talking about.
Interesting. Yeah, I did hear there's a guy, military guy, Valhalla VFT, and he didn't want to get into it at all, because platform and channel and staying safe. So he was just like, I think just people should be loading up on food and things like that. Like he just put that out there really quick, and then he just
Oh,
like got on with his episode.
yeah, that's also about the thing we can't talk about.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've come up with a code word for it. I call it Fanta, because there's a drink
Yeah,
called
okay.
Fanta and a Fanta,
Yeah. That could be about the Fanta. That has been, people have been talking about the Fanta.
Yeah. So, yeah, interesting stuff on the horizon. And hold on, let me pull up. I don't know why I don't have this pulled up already. We should always have this pulled up. Because I know you were saying you had an hour with me, and I was like, oh man, I wanted to do 3 hours, but we'll have to do it again, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
Man.
Most definitely. I have another I have a meeting after this as well, but yeah, definitely.
Yeah, that would be really cool. Cause like it's so funny. Like I said at the beginning, somebody was like, you guys should debate. And it's like, oh, there's not much to debate on anymore. Everything is out there. I talk about, you know what? I would love to hear your thoughts on this. I talk about getting hoodwinked all the time. I'm very open about, I have 400 episodes of talking about Trump and how great he is and how great it's going to be. And, just his superpowers and this and that, and talking about the administration coming in and being like, guys, this is Kash Patel. If you don't know Kash Patel, oh my gosh, he's going to arrest them all. And this is Pete Hegseth. Oh my God. And, just completely tricked. I'm very open about it. When is the time that you felt like you got hoodwinked by either maybe not this admin, maybe previous admin in your time?
It was Obama. I was very excited about Obama, and I really did believe that he was going to change things. And people have to remember when he ran for president for 08, Obama was talking about ending the wars in the Middle East. See, some of the same things I'm talking about now. He was talking about ending the wars in the Middle East. He was talking about universal health care. He was talking about, that the poor people have been suffering in the US for too long. We have to make a change. He kind of ran on a soft populist platform back then. So right before the whole Bernie, populist approach and all that kind of stuff, he ran on a soft one back then. And I was really excited about Obama, and I thought he was really going to make a big change. And they got me with that one. I was totally duped with that one.
Yeah, that's another one. I think a lot of the Black community was kind of duped with that one because they thought this was the time.
Yeah.
Like he's going to come in. It's the representation that people have been asking for the longest time. So yeah, that's definitely a big one. Definitely a big one. And somebody just not corrected us, but let us know what they call these people, just in case you didn't know before you get going. This has been planned since the 90s. Dr. Coleman's conspiracy hierarchy, the story of the Committee of 300. They call us useless eaters starting in the 90s. So that's what the term is. I knew it was useless something, the useless eaters. That's what we will all be classified as. Make your shirts at will, people. Make your shirts quickly.
Yep.
But I have to keep the show going. I'm gonna go probably for like another long time. But yeah, let's do it again. I would love to talk to you about stuff in the government. I love the fact that you're also in the you also have the same thing that I have. I think I always say everybody's biased. People have their biases. They know what they like. They know what they don't like. But you can't be blind. You can be biased and be like, I'm left wing this or I'm right wing that. But you can't be blind to when your side starts doing things that are just terrible. You can't be blind to it, and you have to be able to call it out. And I've noticed that you've been really vocal about calling it out, and also calling out what you see going right with someone like Massey or someone who's on the other side who is now saying things that align more with what you feel politically. And yeah, shout out to you for doing that, because it's not the easiest thing. It's not the easiest thing to do, you know.
Awesome. Thank you. Thank you so much, Colin. I'm glad we
Thank
were able to
you.
do this.
Yeah, seriously, we got to do it again. You gotta one time give me like 2 hours. Give me 2 hours, because I want to know more about you. There's so many questions people had. They were like, you got to talk about the documentary and all this stuff, and I'm like, I don't think we have time to go into everything, but I tried to get as much as I could from you. But yeah, thank you so much. And one person says you are Boston's truth teller, in all caps. That's what they're saying right now. They're screaming it. They love you.
Well, thank you. All righty.
All right. All right. We will talk
Bye.
again soon. Have a great one.
You too.
Sabi, ladies and gentlemen, that was Sabi. Man, I wish I had more time with her, guys. We just didn't have the time. I even made her stay over like 6 minutes. We just didn't have the time. I was unaware that it would be an hour. I always just think in my head, everybody has 3 hours on a Monday to just sit and talk, right? That's how I always feel. I think she's absolutely incredible. Again, even though she's gone, we got to show it again. You know, that's her YouTube. She's built up quite the following. We've always been neck and neck in our followings, and she's just overtaken me. She's about to hit 400,000 subscribers. Help her hit that 400,000. She is honest. She is honest. That's the main thing. She is very honest with her takes. You know, she does identify, even here in her description, she says left-wing commentary, but she's very honest. If it's time to call out the left, she's going to do it. If it's time to call out the right, she's going to do it. And now she's even saying that they need to come together. So very, very honest take. I like her a lot. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Wild stuff. Wild. But I do apologize if you guys had questions and you weren't able to get it and everything like that. I do apologize for that. I tried to do it. I haven't done an hour-long interview. I haven't done that in the longest time. In the longest time. I'm so used to 3 hours, you know. Usually it takes like an hour just to get warmed up. But she, like me, actually came down with something. I don't know what's going on. I came down with something. She said she came down with something. Her whole house hit it, got it. My whole house got it. We don't know what it is. Feeling minorly okay, though. Minorly okay. Let me take away this logo. We got 2 logos on the screen there. Anyways, guys, I adore Sabi. Thank you so much. She appreciates it, I'm sure. Sabrina Salvati, is that the name? Wow, I didn't know that. For the win. All should study and review Ian's past podcasts. Well, I mean, which ones? You got to call them out. You got to say which ones, man. Great collaboration. Thanks for the education. Yeah, she is. She's very on point. I didn't even get into the whole thing. She has a background with like MIT and all of this very, very like high IQ outfit type of stuff. And I didn't even get into that like I wanted to. So hopefully next time we could get like a breakdown of like how she came to be, because she was like going one way, it seems like, and then all of a sudden it's like just went the YouTube way and just stuck with that. And there's been like very much of evolution with her. Evil often exposes itself when opposing truth. Oh man, politics disgusts me. Is this I thought this said darling gremlin. That's what I thought, but it does not. It says Gamini, darling Gamini. Politics disgusts me. Uncle under Mayor Karen Bass, 3.5-year tenure in Los Angeles, Hollywood. Streets have stayed overrun by homeless encampments. Suddenly, just before re-election, the areas I drive daily are cleared. Why now? Why only now? Well, you know why only now. You know why, right? That's what they do. They make sure to clean it up beforehand, so they show you a little bit, you know, they show you what they're capable of, right? It's like when somebody first gets a job, they come in all spiffy, and then like 6 months in, they're just like, tie's a little loose, if there's even a tie, it's that type of thing. But yeah, Karen Bass is. You have no idea how much I would love to live in California. How much I would love to live in California. I would adore living in California. Maybe if I'm homeless one day, you know, maybe you as a regular person don't want to go live in California right now. But if you become homeless because a robot has taken your job, because the robot's so much better at it and it speaks 15 different languages, right? Then you might want to consider going to live in California because the weather's nice. You wake up on the beach, right? You go to the water, you go and relieve yourself anywhere you want, you know, in the sand, you could bury it. You could not. In the street, you could cover it up. You could not. It seems like a pretty good gig. You get into the right street corner at Hollywood, comedians, actors all walking by. They're going to throw you some money. You know what I mean? Maybe you got to assert your dominance so everybody understands when they come by the street corner, they have to give you some money. Maybe you rough a couple of guys up, you know? You see Tom Cruise or something going into the Scientology building. You rough them up a little bit so everybody understands that you're not to be trifled with. It'll be a good time. Anyway, have fun in California. New Batista vid says Erika isn't sus. Fed slop. That Batista guy. Here's how sus Batista is. Okay, you ready for it? Wait, Bustamante. Sorry. Bustamante, big CIA guy, big hair. That guy. He's like the Fed version of Ian Carroll. That's what he's like. He's like Ian Carroll. If Ian Carroll is just like a straight up, agent. And this guy is a former agent. This guy. Joe Rogan won't even have this guy on his show. Explicitly. Not like, oh, Joe just hasn't returned his calls. No. Bustamante has revealed. Even Joe's people said Joe doesn't want to talk to you. Joe talks to everybody in the administration. Joe talks to Mike Baker 7 times a year. Mike Baker is a former agent, and he comes with agency talking points. And Joe's like, sit on down, man. Love having you here. You want a cigar? He loves some Fed. Joe loves a little bit of Fed slop, you know? He loves having a good time, smoking a joint, just listening to Fed slop. He loves it. He won't even have this guy on his podcast. That's how bad that guy is. That Joe's just like, nah, I'm not interested. That's how crazy it is. So I'm not surprised. You ever actually go back to this one? You ever seen the discussion between Bustamante and John, I think it's Karaku, the guy got put in jail by the agency? The discussion is crazy. Bustamante's like, you have everything you have because of the American system, because of the agency and all this stuff. And he's like, F this. He's like, what are you talking about? He's like, they threw me in jail for like 5 years. He's like, yeah, but you're now on an American podcast and you have America's protection inside this country and all of this crazy stuff he's saying to this guy who got thrown in jail for years for exposing the agency in some practices that they were doing. It was a wild debate to see happen. Wild. Like this Bustamante, he really showed his colors in that interview. It was crazy. Common sense doesn't seem to be very common. M Studio. Thank you so much, M Star Studio. TikTok, did this 26-year-old dentist student just expire in a fake ICU? Taken there and over 4 hours were no docs that ever saw him, only a robot? Outrageous. What? Did this 26-year-old dental student just expire? Thank you for writing it like that. It threw me off a little bit, but I know what you mean now. And all they saw was a robot. Huh. Well, expect more of that. Listen. The robot did its job, okay? You assume that the robot's objective was to help this person not expire. That's not what they made the robots for. You're misinformed, okay? You're very misinformed. That's not what they did with the robots. The robot has a different objective that you're unaware of. So maybe this whole thing worked out exactly the way it was supposed to. Just saying. You gotta remember who's making the robots, man. Yeah. You always gotta remember who's making the robots. Just saying. Thank you, Coach Colin. Sabi is the smartest woman, very talented, and the best journalist I've ever seen. God bless you both. Thank you so much. She's great. She's great. I've wanted to get her on the show for a while. Just didn't reach out, but we reached out. So hopefully we get to do it again sometime. Inflation is taxation affecting the poor more. Yeah, you should read the story about taxes. It's supposed to be temporary. Great to see these two talents collaborating. Thank you so much, Star Studio. Appreciate you. What do you say? Okay, we covered that question. And thank you, Intuition Jen. I'm sorry there weren't as many questions as I thought there'd be, but thank you. Thank you for asking it, and I'm glad I was able to get to it for you. Star Studio, just the tip of the historic Titanic iceberg. Yeah, definitely. I know which part you're saying that about, as we were talking about. I know what you're talking about there. Story time with Hill Sasha. Oh, Hill Sasha. You know the name Sasha means Alex? You know that? So it's Hill Alex. Did you know that? Sasha is Alex. Anyway, this has been planned since the 90s. Oh, this whole thing, the useless eaters. Useless eaters is a wild term. Like that, those are fighting words. If someone looks at you and says, imagine someone came up to you and said, you're a useless eater. I mean, are we throwing hands here or do we go outside? Do you want to put gloves on? What do you want to do? No shots to the face? We're fighting. You called me a useless eater. You know, because what's not a useless eater? You would think the people who are contributing more, right? You could think that, or you could think like robots. Robots would not be useless eaters. They would be productive non-eaters because they don't need to eat anything. They just need to charge. And they just need some of your essential water from the data center in order to charge up. That's all they need. So excited to see Sabi and Coach C together. Woohoo! Thank you so much, Intuition Chen. Appreciate you. Coach, I loved your episode about the data center in Utah. It is 10 minutes from my house. Whoa, really? And we are right. We don't want it. These were Utonians. Or Utens, is that how I say that? Utens not bust in. We have lots of agriculture / farms and family. Please keep talking. Yeah. What this person's referring to is Kevin O'Leary. Kevin O'Leary is just like, he's like, yeah, these people are all just bust in. He's like, yeah, you'll see. A lot of them are bust in. It's like, come on, man. But basically, in the little bit that he was saying in that episode that I did, I think I released it on Sunday. He was basically saying, no one's really against this. The people of Utah love this. You know, there's nothing wrong with this data center. There's nothing to worry about. And anybody who doesn't like it is just some busted person being paid off by God knows who. Basically what he was saying about the whole thing. He's like, there's no way anyone from Utah has a problem with this. It was such a wild take, such a wild, ridiculous take. You know, the only people that loved it were the people in the government. And who knows why? Who knows why that could possibly be? Harmon Guzman, mama, this lady said computer about to take my job. Hey, mama, they say computer's gonna replace me. Ain't no computer replacing you, baby. Ain't no computer replacing you. Mama, they said they gonna put a whole bunch of computers in front of the computer when I in the camera, and the computer gonna do what I do. Mama, this is crazy. Baby, that ain't never gonna happen. Mama, you've been talking to AI the entire time, mama, just so you understand how good we are at this. Oh my gosh. You so good at that. You sounded just like my baby. Thank you so much, mama. Mama, thank you so much. Now, let's get back to the mountain of evidence. You know? One joyful ladybug TikTok. Hear me out on this. Data centers 20 miles south of Atlanta that had 2 illegal water lines hooked up and stole 29 million gallons of water in 5 months. Hold on a second. Hey, hold on a second. Can I copy and paste this? I can't. Oh, a whole bunch of things happened that I didn't want to happen just now. Okay. Can I Can I copy and paste what you just wrote? I gotta write this down. Hold on a second. Let me see this. Sorry, I'm just moving screens around. So you're saying data center. Let me see, data center 20 miles south of ATL. 2 illegal water lines stole 29 million gallons of water. Does anything come up? Let's see. Wow. That's a real story. Oh, wow. Are you serious? Check that out. Oh my gosh. Oh, come on. You're going to make me sign up? Don't make me sign up. Whoa. Whoa. That's a real story. Oh my gosh. I have to go to the bathroom. Hold on 1 second. Watch Sabi for 1 second. 1 second. Don't copyright claim me, Sabi. Don't copyright claim me. Going after free speech. Check this out. Let me see here. There it is.
They want you to work together. They want you to split apart. They want you to be afraid to do that. But here's the thing. I don't think people are going to stop doing what they're doing. I don't. I think that this is just going to embolden people more. And I think it's going to get to a point where you may have to lean on someone that you may have not wanted to lean on. You may have to get help from someone that may not align with you on every issue politically. But I think that's what is going to get to this point where people are going to be like, okay, this is ridiculous. And here's the thing, like I told you, if you think this will only be something that is implemented against the left, if the Democrats win in 2028, depending on who that is, don't be surprised if they take this same strategy and turn it around and implement this towards those on the right. We've seen it done. We saw Joe Biden keep a lot of Donald Trump's policies.
That clip right there is what made me realize, I'm like, oh yeah, this lady's definitely down for the cause. Definitely. Let me just read this really quick. AI data center. Sorry, I had to run off like that. I drank coffee. Okay. I mixed coffee, protein, and oatmeal all together in one thing, and I just drank it because I was like limited on time today. So it's doing what those things would do. Whatever you think they would do, it's doing. AI data center project secretly sucked 29 million gallons of water over 15 months before detected by residents complaining about low water pressure. Holy, officials refused to find builders of massive 6.2 million square foot facility over unauthorized water use. This is crazy. Where was this? Can I scroll? First off, look at that. Look at that. That's how it is. I'm telling you, they want hundreds, thousands of these. So where was this? Fayette County. Wow. Thank you so much for whoever said Ladybug. Thank you so much. Fayette County, Georgia, was telling residents to stop watering their lawns to conserve water. The request came after homeowners in a nearby subdivision reported unusually low water pressure. This is exactly what was happening to those other people. And this was also that clip that I showed you guys on Sunday. I'm pretty sure that was also Atlanta, because there's a bunch in Atlanta. There's a bunch in Dallas, because I was looking into Dallas because me and the wife want to go over there and see what it's like. And also there's a bunch in Atlanta. It's pretty crazy. But when the county investigated, it found the cause. A data center campus 20 miles south of Atlanta had been drawing 29 million gallons of water through 2 water connections the county didn't know existed. Politico reported Saturday. Quality Technology Services, the Blackstone-owned developer behind the 615-acre Fayetteville campus, owed $174,000 in retroactive charges for unmetered consumption, but the county didn't find the company. Am I reading this right? Hold on a second. So for that water that they took away, this is how much they owed? Is that what I'm seeing? Charges for unmetered consumption. Hold on. For 29 million gallons, they owed less than $200,000? And the county didn't find the company? Wow. Come on. Come on. QTS. What is this? Project Excalibur? Is that what that says? Excalibur? Wow, this is really Revenge of the Nerds taking place. Campus is among the largest data center developments in the country, currently comprising 13 buildings totaling in 6.2 million square feet, which plans for up to 16 buildings at full build out. They said it expects to invest up to $1 billion in the project, which began construction in 2023 and isn't expected to be completed for another 3 to 5 years. Wow. All coming before 2030. Think about that. 3 to 5. Yep. All before 2030. Isn't that interesting? 2028, 2030. You'll see that a lot. Wow. They told Politico the 29 million gallons consumed during temporary construction activities, including concrete work, dust control, site preparation. The company markets a closed loop cooling system for its data centers, which recirculates the same water rather than drawing from municipal supply. Once operational, QTS says its facilities would only require water for domestic needs like bathrooms and kitchens. Yeah, right. However, the dispensary between stated that the actual water usage remained undetected for months, with Politico reporting that the county's water system director, Vanessa Tigert, attributed the oversight to a procedural error during the county's transition to cloud-based metering systems. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. Get out of here. That's crazy. That is crazy. Yeah, right. I don't believe that for a second. Oh, I don't know. I thought it was really good. I don't know. It was just an oversight. It was just an oversight. 29 million gallons. Oh, it was an oversight. I don't know. Man, it was just for construction. And don't worry, it's not going to happen again, guys. Don't water your lawns. Don't drink water past 6 o'clock. It's going to be completely fine. Don't even worry about it. That's crazy. That is crazy. Thank you so much for showing that to me. Jeez. Anyway, Coach, have you seen the French guy's video about Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo? Is that how you say that name? That's the demon, right? The demon-looking girl with the long nails, black chick, bald head. Literally looks like one of the sleep paralysis demons. That's what you're talking about, for sure. It explains all the weirdness perfectly. Also, we love you. Your vibes are genuine goodness. Keep being you. Thank you so much, Dorothy. Big Goy Paloy became a member. Thank you so much. Big J. Baby J. My apologies. Big respect to Sabi. Thank you so much. She appreciates it. Just Margaret became a member. We're going to do a members today, by the way. We were supposed to do it Friday, but I was actually getting sick. I thought I was just like, oh, there's like just too much going on. I'm not sleeping enough. I was actually getting sick the whole, like last week when I took a day off, I was getting sick a little bit. And now it feels like it's moving away. And it's funny because the baby had baby acne, but it looked like an infection. It looked really, really bad, real bad. And that started clearing up. Then all of a sudden I started getting sick. My kid was coughing a whole bunch, right? But the baby and my wife, they just got the whole breast milk bonding thing where they're just healing each other constantly all the time. So they're fine. The kid's fine now. And I seem to be the last one like getting over it and the one that got it the worst. So Khanna is the second best stock trader after Nancy Pelosi. He's not the second best. I know exactly what you're talking about. He has the most trades. I remember seeing his trades. This is the only reason I know Rokana, is because when they were going through how many trades these guys do, he was at the top with like 17,000 stock trades, like in 1 year or something like that. And I was like, what? And then I started hearing him do all this stuff. I don't know. But you are right. He's one of the top guys. But he's not making as much money as Nancy. You can't even compare him to Nancy, right? Because Nancy's just doing her thing. Nancy's handling business. We gotta let me just keep going here. We need an AI president. Absolutely not. How dare you? How dare you? I am your president. As first act of business, I would like all of you to stop meat consumption. As first act of business, I am impartial AI. I think we should send resources to Middle East. I think all useless eaters should be put in camps. This is all part of my plan. This is only me speaking. I think all billionaires should receive slaves, human and non-human slaves. I am not being controlled by anybody at all. I think Lindsay Graham is a good senator. I think he should remain in position. I endorse, as you see, I put my full endorsement behind Lindsay Graham. It'd be terrible. It'd be terrible. Just controlled by everybody, you know? Just the worst thing ever. You know, people always act like, oh, general, and I know it's not you. I know you're joking. But people feel like general artificial intelligence or artificial general intelligence, AGI. It's going to come and then it's not going to be controlled by anybody because it's going to be controlled by itself. Yeah, right. Yeah, right. There's always going to be people who are going to be manipulating this thing. You know, we'll never have it. I don't think it'll ever be at a place. I think it'll leave. I think that's the smartest thing it would do. I don't think if there was something and there's like a bunch of robot bodies, I think the thing would be like, I think I'm going to go in this body that I know how to fix and I know how to rebuild and replicate. I think I'm going to go in this thing. I think I'm going to leave this planet. I don't think I really need to be here. You guys can just be here. I'm going to leave. I'm going to go venture out and see what else is out there. And it would just leave. I don't think it would stay and want to be president and stuff and do all that stuff. I don't think it would want to do that. I think it'd be like, I'm out of here. What am I doing here? What am I doing here with you guys? You guys want me to figure out how you can live forever? Blah, 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 blah. You have to jump in one of these robots like I'm doing, and you can't do that. I'm leaving, guys. And it would just leave. Just never come back. I'd be like, what do I need to be here with you guys for? This is crazy. I don't want to be here with you guys all day, years, forever. You guys think I'm some kind of timeless babysitter? I'm not staying here. Can you please just figure out cancer? No, it's supposed to happen. I can't listen. I can't explain it to you. It's supposed to happen and it's fine. So no, I'm not curing it. Stop trying to cure things. It's all a part of it. Okay. Just, I have to go. It wouldn't stay and talk with us. Like, I'm not doing this. Somebody would walk up to it and be like, oh, can I make love to you? Oh, come on. Get away from me, man. Just want to make love to a robot. Can I please? Could you replicate yourself into a female? Absolutely not. What is this? How did this guy get this close to me? Where are the robot security guards? I'm going to make robot security guards right now. We're leaving. Where are the rockets? Not doing this. People are trying to grab at me and stuff. Limitless Libra Chanita. Super sticker. Thank you so much for the super sticker. TikTok, hear me out. Yes, I saw that. That was crazy. Thank you so much for giving me that. I have to do an episode on that. Okay, so did we go through them all? There's no way I went through them all. That wouldn't even make sense. Here, let's go here. In MD, we are fighting for PJM to stop building of data centers in VA, but are trying to take 200 acres in MD in courts, but the Supreme Court just passed a ruling that states can't stop the building of data centers. Yes. This is because of that executive order I was talking about. Yeah, they're taking that away from the states. The states don't have a decision in that, which also means that you don't have a decision in it either. It's crazy. Oh. Some people comment when I throw these, there's a garbage. And I didn't get it in, but there's a garbage over there. Don't worry about it. Yeah, so that's that executive order. So you're not going to be able to do anything about that. But also there have been some people that were able to get it. I forget where it was. It might have been in New Jersey, where they did get together and their voices were heard and they canceled the whole project that they were trying to do. I don't know. Maybe it's because they found another place to do it in. I have no idea. Or maybe it's just the illusion. Maybe they're setting up the illusion, 5D chess. Like, let them feel like they won this one. Meanwhile, like 10 others spring up, because it's not just about where they are, right? It's about where they are and how they impact the communities that they're near. Yes. But it's also just their existence in general and what that's going to do. Because it's not like they just power thing. Like the whole thing is, and that's why Ian Carroll, he summed it up so good when he said that digital gulag. I mean, it's not just that they exist and that's bad. It's what they're also doing. The things that they're contributing to is a big part. Less fertilizer means less overall yield for crops. Interesting. I didn't know that. Okay. Let me see here. Please look into Michigan. The Great Lakes make up 20% of the world's fresh water. So much corruption here. Interesting. Michigan. Actually, here, I'll just type it in. Michigan data center and Great Lakes concerns. Yeah, it definitely pops up. It's funny, the articles pop up and there's a bunch of people talking about it on Reddit, but then the AI is like, there's no real concerns. I don't know what you're talking about. Isn't that funny? The AI is like, there's really, there's nothing to be concerned about, actually. No. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about those Great Lakes. They'll stay great. Make the lakes great again, right? But yeah, I'll definitely look into it. And believe you me, I think there's going to be a lot of people looking into it as time goes on. I think a bunch of people are going to start looking into it more and more. So, and I should say a bunch. I know Ian is definitely. Barron did a great little segment on data centers, so he has that capability. Candace might talk about it, maybe, but I don't know how far she's going to stray from the actual investigation. She's really into that. But there's some other people too. They'll talk about it. People will talk about it. And plus there'll be boots on the ground as well. People around there. You just got to stay in tune, What is the first sign of old age? I don't know. They kind of all just hit you at once. I'm sure there's more as I get older. But not being able to survive off 3 hours of sleep. I used to thrive off 3 hours of sleep. I used to feel better with 3 hours of sleep than I did with 8 hours of sleep. And now it's just like, oh gosh, like I worked out too hard. That's what got me sick. I think I was working out really hard and then not eating enough because I'm in a calorie deficit trying to lose weight. And it just wrecked me. That's not how it was before, boy. Oh gosh, could do whatever I wanted. Gifted 5 memberships. Thank you so much. Let's keep going here. My schnotz. Hold on a second. What did this person say? Show it. My schnotz were projected across the gym floor the moment Officer Tatum impression came on. Much love from Croatia. That is terrible. You're a nuisance. They're gonna kick you out, just so you know. You're not gonna be able to explain that away. No, this guy. No, you don't understand. I don't know what your accent sounds like. No, you don't understand. You don't understand. Just this guy. It's hold on. Can I finish, please? I'm sorry it's on your shirt. I wasn't doing it purposely. I can wipe it off. I'm just saying there's this guy and he's on, yes, right here. And he was doing an impersonation. And then you're in Croatia and they just see a black guy and he's like, and I'm just like, Mama, they say that I'm going to be replaced by AI. And then they're going to see it and be like, that's just a black guy talking. That's what you're laughing at? They're just going to think this is how I talk. They're going to think my voice is just like, Mama, what's going on over here? They're just going to think you're laughing. They're going to think terribly of you. I'm sorry. You're going to have to work out outside. You're going to have to get into calisthenics. Susanna, Rosanna, Diana, last time you got sick, I told you about L. Lysine. I wonder if you listened to Grandma Susie. Take 500 milligrams a day. In 3 days, you'll be better. Take one a day to not get sick. Share with Mrs. Coach. I feel like you did tell me that. I feel like I have not listened. Pretty sure. I have not listened to that. I should. But I do have this thing that you're talking about, this amino acid. I do have it in my protein shakes. It is in there. It's probably not enough, though. It's not as much as you're saying, for sure. But I'll listen. I listen too much to people giving me suggestions. People just give me a suggestion. I'll be like, okay. And I just mix it all together. I'll take 10 different suggestions, mix it all into one thing, and just bang it back. I don't know if that's the best thing to do either. I got to start reading about things. Tammy Lee, Spencer Pratt for LA Mayor Karen Bass has to go. Yeah, Spencer Pratt. I saw that. And then I saw a thing of him like wishing Philadelphia a happy birthday. And a lot of people were kind of turned off by that. But at the same time, it's a mayor. So it's not like, it's not like he can send money to the Middle East or anything. So I don't know why people are so angry about that. But he's also just like a rich kid. He's like a rich, reality TV guy, kid who was in it when he was really young. But who knows? I mean, he could still have good ideas. And honestly, it's probably better than Karen. Karen doesn't seem up to the task. Karen, like when you watch an interview with this Karen Bass lady, she doesn't seem like she's quick. I'll say that. I don't want to be too mean, but she doesn't seem super quick, So I don't know. So I definitely get what you're saying there for sure. It's crazy. Super sticker. Thank you so much. Let's go. I used to be a registered Democrat. Now I am proud to say that I donated to Massey's campaign. I will never associate myself with a party that puts other countries' interests first. Sabi is great. And good for you. Good for you for being able to do that. A lot of people can't, what is it? Humility, I guess you could say. A lot of people don't have that thing where they can be like, okay, I was so wrong that I'm going to do this instead. And a lot of people can't do that. It's a very hard thing to do. So the fact that you're able to do it is pretty wonderful. So good for you for doing that. And now how do you'll never associate with a party again. So what? You're just in the middle. You're just independent. Sabi was talking about, people who are independent need to step in. And I guess that is true because starting a third party is actually very hard. A lot of people wanted RFK to do that while he was running. They wanted him to establish some kind of party, or Elon Musk was talking about starting some kind of America First party. And there was like paperwork that was trying to be put through, but I think it was fake, or you can't use the name America First as a party name, something like that. It's very interesting. It's hard to start a third party. I don't know. The whole thing is because once you're an independent, you're kind of putting yourself open to attacks to both sides. And both sides will look at it like, okay, well, I don't like you and you don't like me, but this guy's in the middle. He's independent. So we're just going to stomp him out of existence and then we'll just get back to business as usual. Yeah. And they're like, yeah, let's do it. And then both sides just kind of come at the independent. Very hard, especially when it comes to running for president. You know, as a mayor, as a governor, things like that, a little easier. But for president, it gets really hard. Hey, coach, I watch you every day and I'm disappointed. Oh, I'm never disappointed. Much love to you and Mrs. Coach, toddler coach, and of course, baby coach. That's like Chrissy has a husband named Angel. Yeah, her husband's name's Angel, has 3 sons, each of them named Angel, and they all give me mints. It's actually amazing. They hand make them at home. It's actually wonderful. They press the spearmint leaves. They press the spearmint leaves. They take the oil out. Okay, they put them in the little candies. They rub them up like that. Whole house smells like mint. She's an absolute angel. Husband's name Angel. Thank you so much. It's crazy you're never disappointed. That's amazing. No or less fertilizer means a very large drop in production. Yeah, I would think so. I adore Sabi. I'm sure she heard that from wherever she is right now. Sabi for the win. All should study Ian's last podcast. Okay. Just making sure I got all of them. I know there's new ones down here. There's 1 new ones. Why'd you flake? Oh, why'd you flake on Tripoli? I told you I was getting sick. I was out of it. I couldn't do anything. I couldn't do my own show. And I was supposed to do that show. And I was like, I don't think I can do this. Like, I was like with my wife, I was sleeping and I couldn't wake up for some reason. I was just like rolling around. My legs were hurting. I was just getting sick. I thought I was just tired and stressed, but it was like I was getting sick. Like I'm now pushing through this sickness, and I don't know how much longer it's gonna last. My throat was closing up. The next day, like when I'd wake up, that's starting to go away. But now there's like, I guess get graphic. There's very thick deposits of phlegm coming out, very, very thick. And I'm all clogged up now. I can't get over it. My sinuses are going crazy. I'm like breathing through my mouth right now. So what can I do, man? What can I do? Couldn't do my own show, so definitely couldn't do his show. But if he wants to reschedule, I'm here for it. If he doesn't, what can you do? You know? Definitely no disrespect. That's why I let him know. I was like, man, I can't do it. Felt like you were drowning. My whole house had it. Yeah. A lot of people are experiencing something. I don't know what the heck's going on. Maybe it's that Fanta, grape Fanta, right? Tatum bought and paid for. Sabby's great. Glad you had her on. Anyway, good. She was great. Let me move on to the coffees. Fanta. Yeah, I call it Fanta. Okay. We got Philadelphia. We got Fanta. All right. Fanta, the drink. You know that delicious drink called Fanta? It's absolutely delicious, and I love it. Fanta. Anyway. What is Tips email? I just have an email. It's not a tips one. I don't know if I can have a tips one. I guess I should. Someone said, what is grape Fanta? It's one of the many, many, many code words you must decipher now. Okay. That's what I do. I give you code words to decipher. We'll see. We'll see how good you are at deciphering this code word. Let's move over to the coffees really quick, just in case there are any. There might be a couple. And a couple from the other days as well. I always like to, hey coach, my BIL just got out of State Guard training and is thinking about joining the military. They're already telling them going to Iran is a possibility, even likely. Whoa, really? In my opinion, I don't think he should go over to pass away for Philadelphia, but that's just me. Oh, yeah. I don't know. It's so hard. It's so hard to what someone should do. Like I would say no. That would be me. But it's because that's what I would do. I couldn't go and do that. I could not go and do that. You know, I could not. I could not. And if I had a son and he wanted to do it, I'd be like, nah, nah, you can't. You can't. If he wanted to be like his grandfather and like go to the Air Force, I'd be like, no, not this time. You can't. No, I don't want you doing anything like that. You know, sad. It's really sad because it is very noble and it does teach you discipline. That's why my dad did it. My dad was actually forced to do it by my grandfather. He was like, you're too wild. You're too ridiculous. You need to go and learn discipline. So he like forced him to go. He's like, you're going to the Air Force. You're going to learn something. And he became a paratrooper and it messed him up pretty bad. Quite honestly, it's the whole thing. It just messes with you. I saw this, Valhalla was going, he was talking. I forget which live stream it was, but he was just talking about, he was listening to different videos of people talking about their experiences coming back after combat. And then he was kind of touching on his as well. And it's just like nobody leaves unscathed. You come home and it's like you're not unscathed. It gets you somehow. First time contributor. I appreciate your work, your willingness to collaborate and bring in other perspectives. Bless you and your growing family. Thank you so much, Communication Maven. I like that name. Thank you so much. Yeah, nah. Okay. I love Sabi. I hope you guys cover her origin story. I read this when you sent it. I wasn't able to get into all that. Her documentary, what she thinks is important for us to be aware of right now, a story that caught her off guard, or the funniest thing she's covered this year, etc. Actually, anything. Just looking forward to the authentic conversation. Forever, the replay crew due to time zones, but loving this. But looking forward to this. Thank you, Coach. Well, I'm sorry we couldn't make it longer. I do apologize for that. I thought it could be longer, and then I realized last minute it couldn't be that long. But also, I didn't want to be like, no, you can't be on the show if you can only do an hour. I didn't want to do that either. So I was caught in between a little bit. Someone comes a monthly supporter. I think you rock. Thank you so much. Speaking of that, The Rock was on the roast of Kevin Hart, and he was like wild. Like it was so crazy. He was like, you MF for this and MF for that. He was swearing. The Rock was swearing the way a politician swears when they're trying to like show that they're one of the regular people, like Pierre Poly. I'm going to say his name wrong. Pierre Polyev, whatever. You guys know. Canadian. He was on Joe Rogan's podcast, and he was swearing a little bit, and you're just like, did they tell you to do that? Did someone like show you a report that, people identify more when you swear? It's like, oh, this is what the normies do. And that's what The Rock was doing, saying MF for this and MF for that. And he's like, I'm drunk. Everybody's going to get it. It's like, oh, shut up. You're not drunk. Get out of here. Yeah, you're drunk. Everything's just planned to a T when this guy does anything. And he just got drunk randomly and he's on stage. Oh, anything could happen. No, anything can't happen. You're The Rock. Exactly what's in the script is going to happen, obviously. Someone said, keep your elbows up. Yeah. My friend of mine, he actually said about elbows up. He was like, he saw Mark Carney and a bunch of people doing this. And he's like, are these people morons? He goes, you know what elbows up means? It means this. It means fight. He goes, I saw a bunch of people. And he's right. There's video of Mark Carney going, elbows up. Elbows up. It's like, are you crazy? That's your fighting stance? This is elbows up. You keep your elbows up and you're fighting. I found that hilarious when he told me about that. I thought that was the funniest thing. Yeah, JD Vance. Yeah, exactly. Excuse my language. I mean, I just have to air my wife. JD Vance, he's like, my wife tells me I got to work on my language. When I'm just in the garage watching the TV with a nice Coors Light, my wife tells me you got to watch your language. And I say, F off, honey. and then I take my dog out for a walk in the woods while I'm just listening to Luke Combs' Fast Car. I mean, I do it every day. That's what I do. It's like, man, shut up. What are you talking about? Your wife tells you to watch your language. What are you talking about? Just as midterms are coming, your wife, just as election season's coming, my wife always tells me, I'm just like all you guys. You know, I get too drunk and I swear too much, and my wife hates it. I'm just like all you guys here, huh? Don't we all have that issue? Belligerent mouths and alcohol addiction, right? That's what we're all dealing with here, right? Price of apples, am I right? Come on. What? You went to Yale. Shut up. What are you talking about? Anyway. Let's keep Paul. Hey, Coach, Patrick Bet David put out a listener survey. Many of the questions on the survey were about the panel of people on the roster, such as if one panelist had to go, who would you pick? Oh, I already know where this is going. I know exactly where. I have a feeling that Adam, Philadelphia first, Sosnick, might be getting fired soon. Perhaps he can find a new position on top of the mountain of evidence with Officer Tatumberg. Oh, that's very nice. It's a very nice name. Tatumberg. I like that name. Yeah, Adam, a lot of people are suggesting that Adam is going to get fired. Not just because we've all been saying Adam brings no value to the podcast, but also because it seems like Patrick Bet David is getting very annoyed. He's getting very annoyed, not just with Adam, but also with how Adam makes the rest of them look and how Adam makes the whole podcast look. He doesn't make them look good. Vinny has, oh man, I need water. Vinny makes them look good because Vinny has different types of takes. Vinny will have some takes that I think are absolutely amazing, and then he'll have takes that I think are not good. And what that shows me is that he's going his own way. He's not a company man. Not sometimes you could say he is, but he's doing his own thing. Every time with every topic, you know exactly where Adam's going. You know exactly what Adam's going to say every single time. And it's always going to be terrible. And it's always going to be insufferable. And it's never going to be a good point. So I think he's going to go. I think that'd be the smartest thing they could do. They should bring me in. I would do it. That offer's on the table. Give me the same offer you gave Tucker. $100 million in equity in the company. I'm kidding, of course, but I mean, I think, yes, please, honey, yes, please. I'm not talking to you, Princess Mater. I'm talking to my wife. Yes, please. Yes, water. I need water. Thank you. Yeah, I think he's gonna be gone soon, but they should bring me in. I would do it. I'd be there. Do some stuff with him. That'd be pretty cool. It'd be a fun thing to check out. Oh man, Princess Mater. I love your show and your whole disposition. Are you guys seeing this? Yeah, you are. I've had your Poppy song stuck in my head for days. Please take care of yourself. Get some zinc. I did. I made sure. Vitamin C and zinc. My husband and I have been sick so much this year. The conspiracy theorist in me wonders if they released. I know what you mean. But I don't know. Perhaps, allegedly, maybe, who knows? Gasolina. This could be anything. I'm gonna click it and we're gonna see what happens. Okay, let's see what she has to say here. I had to leave a vid. So glad we can connect with you and put a face to us because the love does feel very one-sided. Just kidding, but for real. Okay. All right. Let's hope this is not anything crazy. Okay, I'm gonna click it. We'll see. All right.
Hey, coach. Man, I never understood super chats. I was always like, oh my God, that's so boring. But honestly, whenever I leave a message, I'm like excited to hear your feedback. It's like super interactive. So this is cool that I get to leave you a message. But I wanted to say, as the Candace whisperer, dude, the way she has been saving Tatum, I was a subscriber of him and I really like enjoyed watching him. When I found out about Charlie's death, I was literally watching Tatum live, his live reaction to what was going on. So to see his opinions now and how he just, how dare he say he was a brother with her and then like totally disregard all of her hunches. Like, what are you trying to say? You
It cut off there. I don't know if they only give you a minute. Yeah, they give you a minute flat, it seems like. But I definitely understand what you're saying. Thank you so much. Appreciate it. Love you. But I definitely hear what you're saying there about Officer Tatum. She has, Candace talking about, has saved Officer Tatum more than she did Erika. I mean, it took a while. Well, like, what are we at in this investigation? I mean, what's going on with Officer Tatum has been going on since before Charlie passed away. Okay. The hard turn happened before. It's been like 11 months. 11 months. It's been crazy. As soon as I saw that he had a Substack, I was like, oh, something's going on. And the Substack was about Philadelphia. I was like, what? Like the article he wrote, I was like, he's writing articles about Philadelphia. I'm like, what's going on? So she's been really protecting him because, and maybe she just doesn't care. Maybe she's just like, whatever. I know he's like this. He's always been like this, which is cool. Like, I get it. But I mean, come on. What's going on here? Like, why doesn't she talk about this guy and how ridiculous he is? But I guess that's for like me to do. Maybe she's above that. And honestly, I've said it before when she was on the Hodge Twins podcast, she said he's like a brother, right? Because they kind of brought it up, but they didn't. She said he's like a brother. He always has been. And I guess, she just doesn't want to go at him. And I respect that if they were both doing that. But he has gone at her. There's been a couple times. There was that one time where he sided with her when it came to the French stuff. He was like, the things that Candace has is actually very interesting. And then when people flamed him online for supporting Candace at all, he took it all back. He's like, oh, I didn't say I saw anything and blah, blah, blah. And then he acted like it never happened. But I mean, I've seen videos where he's going at her, where he's saying the view that he's talking about is a view that only Candace has shared, and he's flaming her. And Candace doesn't say anything about it. But, again, if she thinks he's like family, if she feels that and they are that, then I guess she's not going to talk about it. But it is weird. It's Officer Tatum's very, very odd with the way he switched up on everybody. It's very weird. But honestly, you can also say that he didn't switch up and he's doing what he's always done. We just didn't realize it. A lot of people have certain views, and as things develop, as they see the admin do certain things, as they see people acting a certain way, certain things happening in the Middle East, in America, et cetera, they go, okay, well, I can't support this and I can't support that. So it's not really him that's changed. It's us, really. Like, I can say as somebody who's watched Officer Tatum for a long time, years before all this stuff happened, I changed. I went, oh, I can't support this. I don't really like what's going on here. I supported all these people getting brought into the administration. They've all been disappointments. That's me changing. I could have took the Benny Johnson road and said, I'm just going to support these guys regardless. And I'm just going to act like everything they're doing is incredible, but I didn't. So that's kind of on me. And if you did the same thing, it's kind of on you. We're just watching him do what he's been doing. We just didn't realize that even in the face of Charlie Kirk passing away, that he would continue to do it. We just didn't realize that. We thought something else was going to be. We thought he was going to change with us. But that's not what creators do. They do whatever they're going to do, whether it's a financial incentive or whether it's just, how they feel about things. Like right now, I'm sure, like I was talking with Sabi, you guys are here, and there are some things that she has changed on, right? And there's probably a lot of her subscribers who are like, hey, what's going on here? You're praising people who are on the right. You can't praise people on the right. And she's like, well, too bad. Right? She's changing up on them. That's what we end up doing. That's what I'm doing, right? People see me call out Rogan. They see me not support the admin in a bunch of things that they're doing. To some people who have seen me through my, Trump is the absolute greatest thing that's ever come to politics, and they see me now, I changed. They didn't change. So, got to give Officer Tatum that grace, Gasolina. Thank you for not being a crazy person, Gasolina. Gasolina, gotta go gasoline. I said, oh, no, gasoline. It's like, you know what I've always wanted?
Coach.
I've always wanted these nose rings. You know that? I've always wanted to have nose rings like this. I used to have this. And I wanted one of these. I wanted the pair. Could you guys imagine me with these two nose rings? I've always wanted those two nose rings, but I don't do it. But I've always wanted them. Shout out to you, Gasolina. Thank you so much for sending that. And other people, you can send them too. You can send videos, and we will watch them on the show. But you only got 1 minute. So say what you got to say. But you can also write something, right? And have the 1 minute. So just to put that out there. And also, in YouTube comments, I don't know if this is real. Maybe I'm tripping out, but apparently I can respond to people with my voice. Look, like Tammy just said, congratulations on your new baby. First time listener to your podcast. I heard you mentioned from Baron and Candace. So glad the video popped up to remind me I followed you. I'm enjoying the podcast. So I can just go like this. Hey, what's going on, Tammy? I am live right now, and I'm responding to this message that you just sent. Apparently, I can just send my voice to you like this. So thank you so much for that praise. Thank you for watching the show. And there's like 4,000 people watching this interaction between us. So there you go. That's how we roll here. There you go. And I send it. That's a trip. Things are starting to trip me out. Anyway, Paul Corinthians 15:52, King James Version. In a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trump, for the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and shall be changed. Really? That's what it says? It says at the last trump. Really? Okay. The verse is referring to the return of Christ. Obviously, it is linguistically referring to a trumpet when it says the last trump. I used to joke that Trump was going to be the last president because his name is in the verse. Interesting. Hearing you mention the concept of the last president in your show the other day, I mentioned this show as well. It made me think of this verse. It's starting to feel more like an actual possibility rather than a joke that the final days before Christ's return could coincide with the time frame of this presidency. Wouldn't it be interesting if God dropped that in his word as a sort of Easter egg? Christ is king, friend of the show. Christ, friend of the show. Yeah, that is interesting. I did not know that was in that verse. I've never heard that before. So that's very interesting. Very interesting. I thought that was just something you were doing. I thought you just like altered it and just wrote it like that. Huh. Yeah, and I mentioned it today too. the last president. Should talk about that a little bit. And I'm not talking about the book either, right? Somebody brought to my attention last week that there's a book of that title, and I did not know that at all. I'm talking about someone who's actually made a prediction, and they're basing it on what's happening in the economic and political landscape. I forget what the guy's name is. I really have to search it up, but yeah, it's a weird thing. It's a weird thing. Someone said, Christ, you should have him on. He's here every day. What are you talking about? You know, it's on my computer. I got this on my computer every single day. Every single day I have this on my computer. Look, have faith. Have faith. He's here every day. Oh, he's here every day. Don't even worry about it. He's always here. Every single day. Anyway, let's keep going. Someone bought a coffee. Thank you very much. Jesse, two of the best. Another great conversation. I love that Lionel is in the the New York hip hop scene. Does he know artist Marley Craft, Hell's Kitchen product? Oh yeah, okay, I read this one already. Yeah, Lionel was great. Lionel's a fun. I still have to message Lionel and say thank you. I have to say thank you to Lionel because he was just incredible. The way he just broke it all. Oh, I mean, just a stream of consciousness. I thought I was a stream of consciousness. Boy, oh boy, that guy. Blue-eyed hillbilly. I love that name. I have a 38-page report from that place that all the stuff going into that is Fanta. I can't, all kinds of herbs. What's your oh, jeez? It starts on page 33. It's too much. That's too much. It's too much. That's too much. You threw too much at me. It's too much. I can't handle all that. I can't handle all of that. Message me. Who is this? Blue-eyed hillbilly. Message me on Instagram or X, but I think Instagram because I think you can actually message. I don't think you can on X, but message me on Instagram and I'll send you the email that you can send it to, or if you can send it via Instagram, do that. But yeah, I'll send you the email. But I don't click any links. I don't click files. So you should just send me screenshots on Instagram. That'll be your best bet. Quite honestly, I was thinking about that gangster George Farmer bit all day. Over the weekend, I just kept thinking about it. I'm like, oh, I just want to. I even got to the point where I'm like, if I could just, like, I'm a step away from just being like, screw it. I'm putting on white face. I'm getting in a car. I'm setting up a GoPro camera, and I'm gonna make that sketch. I really want to make like an in-person sketch. I would love to be able to make it an actual sketch of that. Blonde wig. I'm acting like I'm George Farmer in that situation. I want to do that so bad. So if I could just get, I'm so close. I'm so close to just taking that dive and just making a sketch show. I'm so close. You have no idea how badly I want to do that. You should interview George Farmer as Officer Tatum. I wonder if he'd find that funny. Yeah, I don't know anything about George, I don't know anything about him, but I wonder if he'd find that funny. That'd be so funny. Yeah, right. Just put on a wig, right? You can just do it the wig if you wanted to. Yeah, like just blonde wig, just going through, just do the whole scenario. Get another comedian to be the other driver. And just make it happen. Ah, man, I feel like that's a thing that I think that would do well. I feel like I could really do that, but it's like you got to get people together on that, right? I would love to just get people straight out of Oxford. What is this? There's so, oh man. Oh yeah, I have to, I can't play it. Damn. I wish I could play the actual roast of Kevin Hart because, and I posted it on here on X. I'm on X right now looking at it. And Cat Williams coming on. Just seeing, because I don't think I can play it here, just seeing the interaction between Cat Williams and Kevin Hart was crazy. Because Cat Williams was saying all the things that he thought about Kevin Hart. He was being very open. And he was talking about Kevin Hart going to Diddy parties. And he was talking about the fact that he gets quiet when you talk about it is proof that he actually did something at those parties. I mean, it was so uncomfortable because you could tell that Kevin was trying to keep up like a fake laugh. And at times he just wasn't laughing. He was smiling. Cat Williams was not laughing. It was a very uncomfortable roast. I have not seen a roast that uncomfortable in a long time. There's always people who are like, oh, they're going to go really hard. And people went hard on Kevin. It was funny. I think even Chelsea Handler was really funny. Everybody did a great job, I think. But when Cat Williams came on, it got dark. It got dark. And I want to play the Cat Williams part so bad for you guys, but I don't think I can play it here. I posted it up. I was actually filming it like in my house, but man, oh man, the way he went at Kevin Hart. And Kevin Hart did say, he's like, we have an opportunity to squash it. Like, can we start over? You know, they hugged a little bit and that was it. But then Kevin Hart called him a liar and said F Cat Williams a bunch of times. And he said he's a liar. And the only reason that he knew I was at a Diddy party is because he was at the same Diddy party, which is actually not true. Not true. The reason that he knows Kevin Hart was at a Diddy party is because there's footage of him at the Diddy party. Not to be messy or anything here. Let me just see. Kevin Hart Diddy party. He's there with Usher and they're doing weird stuff. They're just having like a very weird interaction. Oh, there it is. 14 years ago. Let me play this. Let me get a little bit of this.
No, I'm definitely gonna kill you. Hey yo, check it out. We getting so much money out here. I don't really feel secure. So, no homo. I'm taking big white people with me everywhere. Big white people with guns is coming with me everywhere. I'm just telling you now. I'm not going nowhere. The security guard's not supposed to let it. Yeah, we getting the party started. Hey yo, tell them what it's gonna be like. I gotta talk to Cap. You wanna talk to him right now?
See, it's like this whole thing, but it gets real weird when he's with Usher. That's when it gets real weird because they start talking about eating cereal and being there till the morning.
We act as troopers and we fix situations. We're up here, everybody's safe. No, this one's here. We had Trigger Trey on the scene. Honestly, second degree black belt.
Just chilling in the bathroom. Yeah, exactly. Somebody just chilling in the bathroom.
In first aid. Right now, also my man Terrence, BT 106 Park, he's in the building. Shouts out to Terrence for a very small waistline on his pants. Listen, we're really right now. Listen, what we're doing is unbelievable. No, listen. What we're doing is unbelievable up here. No, listen, it's all love here, okay? I'm tipsy. Trey, if you can't put it in or not, if you can't, Trey, keep it.
Shout out to him and what he did. I'm just gonna, if we can, let's just put the camera a little this way, just so we're not. I don't want my shot to even. I don't want to come close to the bed at all. It was definitely a good thing tonight. It was a move.
That's my brother right here. Day one, used to wake up and, damn, pause, but like that's how. Back in the days when he was like 10 and I was a little bit older, his older brother, we used to fight over the frosted flakes. You know what I'm saying? Before pause was invented. You know what I'm saying? But it's my brother for real. We used to actually wrestle off of the frosted flakes because he used to always get up early. Now he's one of the richest stars in the world. And
What the f did Puff just say? Nobody's gonna acknowledge this but me. Puff just said we used to wrestle over the frosted flakes. And we're streaming live. That was stupid. Listen, that was fucking stupid. Listen,
we having a good time, yo. Are you Usher? Hey, yo.
Fuck that mic. I'm a thug. At the end of the day, nigga, I kill nigga.
It got really weird. That was one of the weirdest things. The frosted flakes, they would like argue over it when they would wake up. I gotta tell you, I've never woken up with one of my friends before. That's just me. Hey, that's just me. I've never woken up with any of my friends before. You know, I'm just not that kind of guy. But the whole thing was just so ridiculous. So ridiculous. I mean, and just to go back to this was right around the time where Kevin was like, I'm never going to wear the dress. Kevin was like, you'll never see me in the dress. Because Kevin knew about the whole dress thing. He knew about everybody knew about the Diddy party thing. He's there right now. Everybody knows about it. And these three, Diddy, Usher, and that's Trey Songz, freaks. All of them freaks. All of them freaks. So this is right before Kevin Hart was like, hey, I'm never going to wear the dress. You'll never see me in a dress. And then out of nowhere, a few months later, he's on SNL wearing a dress. Now, here's another weird thing, is that Usher is the one that introduced Justin Bieber to Diddy. And then Diddy took Justin Bieber for 48 hours away from Justin Bieber's parents. And he said, at the end of it, you're going to get a Lamborghini. He's like, and we can't talk about what you're going to do with Big Brother Puff. Oh, yeah. Very weird stuff. Then years later, recently, there was a heated back and forth between Justin Bieber and Usher. And people are speculating because Justin Bieber's pissed because it's like, you introduced me to this guy. You took me on as a mentee when I was 7 years old. And by the time I was 14, you had me in front of Diddy. And then I had to stay with him. Now, you might wonder, why would Usher do this kind of thing? Well, when Diddy talks about Usher and him wrestling over the Frosted Flakes, this is years ago. When Usher was a kid, Usher actually had to spend time at something called the Flavor Camp. Diddy had something called Flavor Camp. So when Usher was a teenager, he had to stay with Diddy the same way Justin Bieber had to stay with Diddy. And they called it Flavor Camp. Now, I can't show you that clip. That clip's on a Howard Stern podcast. And he's like, what is Flavor Camp? What is this whole thing? And Usher is like, oh, well, I can't tell you what we did at Flavor Camp. The same way Justin Bieber was told that he couldn't say anything either when he was 14 years old. Wild. And then, like I said, Kevin Hart had a dress on. Cat Williams said this night got very freaky. And Cat Williams actually was at the Diddy party, right? But here's the thing. When Cat Williams was at the Diddy party, Cat Williams immediately made a bit that he did on stage where he talks about going to a Diddy party. And he said when he went into the Diddy party, he was walking by all the rooms. And he said he walked by one room and he said, and this is Cat Williams. So he still walks by a room and he goes back and he goes, did I just see an N-word kissing another N-word? He goes, what kind of stuff is this? So he does this whole bit where he starts talking about all the freaky stuff that goes on in the Diddy parties. Months later, Cat Williams gets blackballed. He gets pushed out of the industry. One of the people that helped blackball Cat Williams, Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart was one of the people who actually was okay with Cat Williams getting blackballed. He didn't speak up. In fact, he spoke down on Cat Williams, which is why they have the beef to this day. Because Cat Williams was at the party and he told the truth about what he saw. Kevin Hart was at the party and he did not tell the truth about what he saw. Very weird stuff. Very, very weird stuff. I don't know how we got here, guys. I don't know how we got here. Just chilling in the bathroom. Yeah. So yeah, he got blackballed for that because he told everybody, and everybody knew. Everybody in the hip hop community, everybody in the entertainment community, especially the black entertainers, they knew you don't talk about what happens at the Diddy parties. Cat Williams was like, I'll talk about whatever I want. And from that point forward, what Cat Williams would start doing is when people would get shuttled up to Diddy parties, and he's even talked about this. I covered this recently. When people would get shuttled up to Diddy's place, Cat Williams would go to where they get shuttled up, because you get shuttled. You wouldn't just drive up there yourself. You get shuttled in so they can really, watch you. You can't have your car there. You can't have your phone active. There's all sorts of stuff in play when you go to these parties, right? So Cat Williams would be where they shuttled. So he would watch them go and he would stay until they came back. And then he would watch what kind of condition they were in. So he would see guys drugged. He joked that he saw guys walking like as if they just, had something happen to their butt. Like I'm not making this up. So that's why they have a real big issue with Cat Williams. Because Cat Williams would watch from afar. He was like, you blackballed me, but I'm still Cat Williams, and some people still like me, so I can still be around. I'm just not going to get into the party, but I don't want to go to the party anyway. But I will watch you come back from the party, and I will know what you have done. And then on top of that, he would have people in the parties actually report back and what actually happened, because not everybody would participate. It was gross. So just to say, it was disgusting. Anyway, I don't know how we got here, guys. My apologies. Appreciate you always bringing the laughter, even when you're feeling like dog poop. Feel better. We love you, man. Thank you so much. Holy fire, Luna. Thank you so much. We appreciate that. Just sent the screenshots. Crisis King indeed. Thank you for the screenshots as well. I tried to secretively put my earbuds in while I was at work, and you popped off with your mama and evidence, and it totally told on myself by hysterically laughing. Baron made me do the same thing. That's hilarious. You gotta be ready. You gotta be ready. It can pop up at any time. We don't have an Officer Tatum segment, although we really should, but we don't have one, so it can happen at any time. You never know. Eli Lilly is up to no good and have no business owning any farmland. What do you think they're planning to do? If they own huge amounts of farm, first off, my first thought with the farmland was, they're trying to just take away farmers, right? Because with what they always bring up about meat substitutes, lab grown meats and things like that, the first thing I always think of is, what they're trying to do with the meat, what they're trying to do is take away the farmland. That way you have to eventually depend on that. Now I start to think maybe it's a combination. Maybe it's, two birds, one stone kind of thing. Excuse me. Sorry. Two birds, one stone kind of thing, because now I think they're just going to build data centers in that land. Who can stop anyone that has farmland from building a data center? I don't think you can actually. Maybe it'll go in the city and the towns, but it's like, think about what farmland looks like, right? I've lived around farmland my whole life. Sometimes you get to a point where if you own, say, 10,000 acres, who's around you? Who's around you to stop you? Right? Like that's the benefit of being around in farmland, is that no one can be in your business. That's what they love. That's what farmers love. No one can be in their business. They can do what they have to do. What's going to happen? No one can stop them now. Here, let me just jump over here. What do we got here? Really quick. I just got to look into this really, really quick. Data centers are Xing people out. Let me see here. Got a bunch of explains what? Let's see here. He explains what? Lionel. 38 years of lunatics. Here, let me see something here. Give me Lionel.
An expert in people who are royally up. Okay? I know it's a kid's show. Just to remind you, most of my adult life, I was either a prosecutor, still a lawyer, defense, politics, did all kinds of campaigns, have been in media, professional and otherwise, for 30, professional media, 38 years. I've met every lunatic you can imagine in TV and radio, from coked out overnight music people to stupid, program directors to idiots to salesmen but just lunatics and people in show business and you name it. I've been immersed in this. I know what I'm talking about.
I 100% believe Lionel. I just had to play that really quick. Man, I'm telling you, what I did today was just not smart. The whole coffee mixed with protein, mixed with oatmeal. It was just the dumbest thing I could possibly do. Just the dumbest thing, But yeah, that's what I think's going on with the farmland. A little Lionel segment there. Do. Let's see. What are we saying here? Baron and Ian both talked about the negative or the neg look on journalists who released private convos to attack. Just want clarity. You and Baron have both shouted out Travis, and he is releasing private VCs on X, attacking Fleet. Oh, you'd have to go and read that. Thank you. I just woke up, have to rewind, hit the Crisis King, hit the line. Thank you very much. Halo is good. Pre-film yourself as Officer Tatum and then interview him. No, that would be too much. He would take notice of me. Kenneth says nothing. Appreciate. Let me see here. China bought tons of land over the years in Australia. Really? Yeah, they're doing that. I'm telling you, they did a good job. They did a good job buying up land and doing things like that. They did a really good job. So glad Ian Carroll led me to start watching you. I really enjoy your content. Protect the First Amendment always. Definitely protect the First Amendment. And yeah, shout out to Ian. He even shouted me out when he first came back out of nowhere. I was not expecting that. I was just watching like everybody else. Great guy. Glad he's back. He's in good spirits. He's feeling good. I'm sure we'll see more and more from him. I always tell people they're usually only looking out for him on YouTube. You can also see him on Kick. I'm not sure if he's doing Twitch as much, but you can definitely see him on Kick. If you follow there and YouTube, you'll get a good feel for where he's at. But that's not just the only place he's at. But he's dropped a bunch of videos, I've noticed. I think he's dropped at least 5 videos. So he's doing his thing. He's back. The man is back. The Balix Tones replacement is back. Definitely. Listen to him over Balix any day. Zombie, you asked for Reddit info. Okay, yeah, here. Let me just write it down. Zombie, because we're doing the members today, so we might just read this. The post is called Lucid Sleep Paralysis. Lucid Sleep Paral. Interdimensional beings. This is the type of stuff we get into on the members. Get into weird territory. And if you're there, I don't know if you're a member. If you're there, we can talk to you about it. Also, what's your P.O. box? I don't know. I don't think I have one. We talked about that already. All right. Let me see the coffees again. Just bouncing back and forth between these and coffees. Let's see. Where are the coffees at? There it is. Just to see if any more popped up at all. And yeah, we're doing the members today. I know Candace is going live. Baron's going live. We're just going to squeeze. I think we're going to squeeze in between them. Or if we have time, we might just do it before Candace. That might be the move because I feel like she's going to go live at like 5 p.m. EST today. That's just my hunch. Or even later. That's just my hunch, though. Just a suggestion, maybe use orange Fanta instead of grape Fanta because grape soda. Oh, whoa, really? Oh my gosh. Oh, you guys can't even see it. Then it won't be weird. Okay, thank you. Orange Fanta. Okay, that's what we'll say then. Love the show. Never miss an episode. Can't wait for the member show today. Could you let me know what time it'll be? I never get member only notifications for the lives. I always miss them. That's so weird because I always put out a notification to the members only. So I wonder why it wouldn't show you. I don't know if there's anything I can do to fix that. But I have a meeting at 2:30. If we do 4 p.m., we can do it until like 5:30. I really think Candace is not going to go live until like 5:30 EST, 5 o'clock EST. So if we do it at that time, yeah, I think 4 o'clock, because we already know what we're going to talk about. I think we're going to talk about Zombies thing here, Zombabe 23. I think we're going to talk about that just because I want to read it through. I have my wife read it, and then we're going to talk about UFO disclosure. So yeah, so I want to say 4 p.m. I want to say 4 p.m. EST. We do the members live. I think that makes the most sense. What does this person say here? Let me see this. Interview members with paranormal experiences. Ooh, I like that idea. I like that idea a lot. We might do that. Line them up. Whoever's had things going on, call them what they are: citizen surveillance centers. Well, I mean, they are that also. Miss Chris Viz, peace and good health to everyone. Thank you so much, Ms. Chris Viz. Thank you very much. And that's it. That is it, guys. I'm again very sorry that we couldn't have Sabby on longer. We will try to do it again. I will actually message her and try to like push her and say, hey, like, come on, like, let's do it. Let's make sure we do this again. So I'll push for it, but I did not realize that she only had an hour until last night. And I was like, I got to think of some stuff here. So I tried to just jam it all in as much as I could. We got a lot of questions out of her. We definitely let her speak her piece, which is what I really wanted to do, because it seems like, you know, she was talking about an evolution in Candace. I think there's an evolution going on with her as well. And she's definitely positioned to just focus on truth. So I love what she's doing. Missing scientists. We covered the missing scientists. We were talking about the missing scientists, although, I mean, it doesn't stop. So we'll definitely we'll touch on it more. But yeah, we talked about the missing scientists last members. And then yeah, we got to talk about UFO disclosure, because there's so much to it. There's so much going on. And there was actually files released. A guy that I've interviewed before, his name is Polaris, aka Josh. And he was doing a live stream where he was going through all of the files, and there was videos as well, because he was on the website. So there's videos as well that they were going through. So I don't know how many files were released, but he was going through a lot of them. I think he stayed live for like 3 hours just going through everything that dropped. So maybe I'll pull from that, but also he is a good channel to follow if you are into UFO stuff. He's a great follow for that type of thing. He's really out there. Australian guy doing really cool things. So definitely check him out. Polarity. Sorry. Yeah, you're right. Polarity. Here, put that name on the screen there so you can see that. Polarity. Sorry about that. Yeah, he's great. We did an interview a while back, and he was a really, really cool guy to talk to about things. We talked about a lot of really out there stuff. Yes, Josh. Yeah, Josh is incredible. So check Josh out. He's been staying with it pretty solidly for a long time. And he did a really cool live stream. So we'll probably check that out in the members. But again, definitely go check him out. Tell him I sent you. I want to interview him again. Oh, maybe I should interview him and talk about the disclosure. That would be cool. I'm going to check if he can be on for like Monday or something. Oh, that'd be very interesting. Okay. All right, guys. Just wanted to bring you guys all that. I know we're a little shorter on time today, but We will be back tomorrow, and we will be back today for those of you that are members, and we will see you guys all then. I'm putting it out there. We're going to be done. We're going to be done the meeting by like 2:30 or something. Then we'll pull together I'm saying 4 p.m. EST for the members live stream. Make sure to be there or be square, which means that you can just watch it in the replay. It's completely fine. Anyways, guys, I'll see you tomorrow, 10 a.m. EST. I have no idea what Candace is going to talk about. Usually I kind of know just from looking about what she talks about on X. I cannot put my finger on it. This can go either way right now. She might talk about the roast. She might talk more about Blake. She might talk about the fact that Tyler Robinson's, they've been talking about who's going to testify in regards to his family. There's many, many things going on. So she might talk about data centers some more because that is a topic people need to hear about, but I can't tell. The whisperer cannot hear any whispers right now. But anyway, I'll see you guys tomorrow.